'Twas a cold, dreary morning in December, when all of me money it was spent. Well, it went so loud I really can't remember. So down to the shipping office I went. Patty lay back, taking your slack. Takes a turn around the caps and heave a pole all around ship stations. Boys be handy, for we're bound for Valparaiso around the horn. Oh, that day there was a great demand for sailors, for the colonies and for Frisco and for France. So I shipped a boat along me back to Hopsburg. Got paralytic drunk on the advance. Patty lay back, taking your slack. Take a turn around the caps and heave a ball all around ship stations. Boys be handy, for we're bound for Valparaiso around the horn. 'Twas on the quarterdeck when first I saw him. Such an ugly but I've never seen before. For the captain he had shipped a crew of Belgians, and it made me pour out your sick and sore. Patty lay back, taking your slack. Take a turn around the caps and leave a ball all around ship stations. Boys be handy, for we're bound for Valparaiso around the horn. But Jimmy there, he knew a thing or two, sir. And soon he shipped me outward bound again. On a line me to the chinches for guano. And there I was a roaring this refrain. Patty lay back, taking your slack. Take a turn around the caps and leave a pole all around ship stations. Boys be handy, for we're bound for Valparaiso around the horn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. This Monday, I am a little bit behind and I have no one to blame but myself. But I hope you're all having a very wonderful night tonight. Tonight, we are going to be discussing the alleged resurfacing of the somewhat mythic Glock AR-15 that's been rumored for quite some time, now spotted out in the wild with a random police force. So that should be fun. And then on top of that, we are going to go over some of the greatest gun FUD sayings of all time and discuss them with a panel of eccentric, excellent guests, starting with Chris, Bucky, Kolya, Jake, Bones, Ronan, James, and Hawkeye, who may or may not still be driving. So before we get into that, how's everybody's night going?
Good.
I'm doing wonderful.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Excellent. James, how you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Good. Hawkeye, how you doing, bro? Are you still there?
Yeah. I'm still here, still driving.
Okay, well, be safe. Don't cause an incident on the stream. Be an issue.
That would be fun. That'd be good for viewers.
Can't get PTSD if you are the traumatic
we
event.
just hear it like broken and robot-y. There's a crash, a siren, horns going off.
We get to watch later on
If you're
EW.
thirsty, enjoy a Thingtel beer.
From Mr. Guandang's State Broadcasting Service, live on location, this stream, halfway across the world. Let's go ahead and pull this up, shall we? Oop, wrong button.
Oh my.
All right. So this was a while ago. The new Glock, an AR-15. This is the pictures from a European military contract request, and Glock happened to submit an AR using a AMG, the Vortex Shorty. Ooh. Sorry, Kolya, you're making some noise. The AMG Shorty Vortex with an acro on top and a unique QD barrel rail system with a new suppressor on it, allegedly from Glock. Now, this is the GR115P or something like that, fully ambidextrous, kind of cool, has the Glock roll mark everywhere. They've had patents on a lot of their stuff for a while now that you can look up for the AR. But as of late, they actually got spotted today, I want to say, out in Slovakia with a random police force. You can see that this is the same, at least the same handguard and upper receiver design. And apparently these are just being fielded out there where they are allegedly being assembled. So now this was from a leak from an article that got posted, I suppose, too early, and then instantly got taken down. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this first, and then I'll be glad to hear the rest of your opinion on it. But I kind of hate it. I kind of hate the idea of a Glock AR, because the cool thing about Glocks are the super reliable, boring handguns that, you know, they made and designed based off of Gaston's design. This is based off of somebody else's design and is almost assuredly not made by them. So it's kind of like a Glock label on an AR rather than a true Glock rifle, if that makes sense. So I'm not actually that excited by the existence of a Glock rifle. And keep in mind that this is probably going to be the opposite of their handguns, which are reliable and affordable. This is probably going to be reliable and unaffordable, as any foreign import AR styles are usually somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000. So what is the panel's thoughts on this monstrosity in front of us?
So none of the parts are manufactured in-house by Glock. They're all just
White label.
assembled.
Well, I wouldn't say none of them. Allegedly, they are only assembled in Slovakia. So I have no insider information as to where these are actually being made, right? I am just guessing that these are not entirely made by Glock, and therefore slightly less interesting to me.
I mean, do you want to be hopeful and think that's HK white labeling the parts to Glock, or do you think Glock took a page out of Sig's book, has all the shit made over in India and just assembled in Slovenia? Slovenia or Slovakia?
It says Slovak police.
Oh, all right. So that's nice for Czech Republic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting their reputation and brand on the line, so I imagine that they're going to at least use somebody reputable for the parts. But I'd be surprised if they were to really branch into making their own stuff.
Maybe it's CZ, because CZ did just buy the rights to Cole.
It makes sense for them to build one. I mean, like so many other firearm companies build ARs, and Glock is such a well-known name that there's going to be a ton of police outfits that buy these guns. You know, it makes sense from like a business standpoint for them too. I will say the first image that you showed with that kind of, it didn't look clear coat, but it definitely looks unique, right? Like that color scheme. It's like
this was specifically for a British military contract, and Glock did submit a rifle for it. So this is like the early version. These showed up online a year and a half ago or so, I want to say, these images here, but the pictures of them actually in police officers' hands now, these came out today, basically.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Whatever they did in that original picture for the actual like military chart.
Oh, you cut out there, Ronan.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an AR-15. I mean, maybe this is me being a poor, but it's kind of like the Knight's armament stuff. It's like extremely expensive. At the end of the day, it's still an AR-15. It's a good quality AR-15, but I could see if these ever somehow made it to the US, people would be charging ridiculous amounts of money for what is literally just an AR-15.
$2,000
You know,
used, most definitely.
Well, the one thing I'm really sad about is Glock completely missed the ball with it. They should have did it in 9mm and takes Glock mags. They fucked up.
They should have done it in 40 Smith and Wesson.
Superior way to have done it.
Glock 4015.
Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, anyone else sad that Glock didn't make a 5.56 17 XL with a 16-inch barrel? Yeah, it's just their pistol frame with like a stock on it. That's it.
I would be surprised if some like government officials like, oh, Glock makes guns, especially for our police forces. Do they make other guns? And Glock's like, yeah, we do like the contract money. Let's go slap together an AR-15.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Actually, from a business perspective, I 100% agree.
I think, John, your mic cut
I
out.
think you're
For a few seconds, yeah. We
There's
didn't
too
get the
much
past like 2
autism on this
sentences.
panel, okay?
My bad.
It's
My bad.
crashing the
Anyways,
stream.
I think it makes a lot of sense for Glock to branch out into a rifle from a business perspective, right? Because when they have only pistols, they can only win pistol contracts. However, the big money is in rifle contracts. And this opens them up to people that already have Glock contracts can go ahead and pick up this, and you can go pistol and rifle like SIG, for better or worse, is a total systems integrator, meaning that they supply the suppressors, the optics, the rifles, the pistols, the ammunition, all of it, right? They can do literally everything, and that's what gives them such a impressive market share. And I think Glock and other companies are going to simply look at that and be like, oh, we probably need to do something like that if we want to grow and expand. Because if they only have pistols, they still can only capture 20% of the market at most, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will say the focus on expanding into different product lines and, like you said, full system integration, we could end up seeing a decline in overall quality from flagships like, Glock with their 17s and 19s. But, that just comes down to what the future has,
Mm.
I mean, like
I'm surprised they haven't done it earlier. I mean, they were getting military contracts and just contracts in general for a very long time. I'm genuinely surprised they didn't go down the rifle route earlier.
Well, this is something that has been in the works for a few years now, so they haven't rushed it out. Now, the one interesting thing that you said there was that if they actually are having somebody else make and assemble the rifle so that they can just sell it under their name but maintain their pistol quality rather than try and do everything under one household and try and spin up their own QC to match their legendary pistol reliability, might actually be a good idea to keep the brands separate rather than try expanding it too fast.
Maybe it'll be good. I mean, somewhere there's going to be military that are buying Glock rifles using SIG handguns.
Yeah, alternate timeline.
Just get it all from the same place, man. Yeah.
I'm honestly, this is not as bad as what could be happening. Like, it is just a generic AR-15. It's not that impressive. I'm just glad Glock isn't like totally going downhill after Gaston died. It could still happen, but I feel like we're going to start seeing more of this kind of stuff, different stuff that isn't just like all armor striker fired handguns, and hopefully they don't mess it up.
Yeah, what a strange world would it be is if Glock's most famous product in 20 years is a rifle designed by Stoner rather than a pistol designed by Gaston.
I was going to ask, do we know what like the value or price is on these, like what Glock is charging?
No. So this is like first images weren't even supposed to be released yet. What they were for the contract, probably multiple thousands of dollars for the rifle, considering their competition was HK, CZs, whatever else it was top tier rifles at the time. So they are not going for a budget audience. These are full featured, interesting, unique, patented designs. They even have some of the pictures of their patents for like the new adjustable gas block system, some changes with the way that the bolted gas key interacts with the system. So they're not just making a generic AR, it is fully ambi as well, and it is not going to be cheap, especially if it's imported from Europe.
It really just depends like how well they perform and what the end cost is, because that's what every gun lives and dies on, is what it can do and how much it costs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what's interesting is the overall European trend of adoption of AR-15s or AR-15-like platforms. For example, the Swiss rifle right now, the Swiss service rifle is an LMT. The Estonian service rifle now is an LMT. The upcoming British replacement for the L85 series is going to be a CAC rifle.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I remember TFB TV, they did that interview where they reviewed that Australian SF dude and was like, all right, would you rather have an AUG or an M4? And in every situation, he said, I'd rather have the M4. And so I think we're seeing a lot of widespread adoption, and influence of the AR/M4 platform over in Europe now.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Glock AR before we get GTA 6.
Brother.
Yeah.
Another thing I see is that with brand recognition, if they release a secondary product that's outside of what they're known for, but with that brand recognition, if they pull it off, they can make it a very successful product. You got Ruger, where like every novice gun buyer would think of Ruger, then now their AR-15s are incredibly popular, probably more than their handguns. You have Palmetto State
Ruger makes
Armory.
handguns?
Believe it or not, they make some pretty good ones.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we have an RXM Defender on the panel.
Oh,
We
my.
do. RXM's bigger defense. You know what? Change my title.
Does this come in 45 gap? No, it does not, sir.
I can't tell from the pictures. Does it have finger grooves?
On the
Yeah, why didn't they do the Smith and Wesson route where they use essentially just their flagship pistol as the pistol grip?
Looks like it's just
Oh right, yeah. Actually, that would be funny. Although the Gen 5s don't have Glocks. So I think they're using Magpul furniture.
If they offered it with a Gen 4 grip with the finger grooves, I'd be sold. This would be my
That'd be
favorite.
amazing.
No, with replaceable back straps too. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, is that a real product? Does somebody make a Glock grip for the AR? Where it
I
is
hope so.
good?
Somebody
would not
can.
surprise
That's a
me at
business
all.
idea right there.
3D printable.
They have
I
to.
mean, yeah, I'm sure it already exists. All right, no, Kolya, you can't do that.
Does it have
Sorry.
front and rear serrations?
Yeah.
I just thought I would check.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's technically serrated. It's got the new cool thing where they cut out all the middle of the Picatinny so that you can run your wires down it if you want. That was a big thing that Sons of Liberty Gunworks is doing.
Looks like it's on the receiver too.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, all the way
yeah.
down. So it does look. I don't know if this is specifically for the contract, but it looks like both the handguard is QD with a big nut on the side. So I don't know if the barrel underneath, if it's using a slightly different system as well, but it is not standard. You know, there's a few cool things that they're doing with it. So
The handguard looks like what Hanel had for their own removable handguard, where you use the lever and then pull it forward like an HK416, but slightly better.
yeah, actually, yeah, it does remind me of a 416 a little bit too. So, but it comes from that area of the world. I'm hearing a little bit of popping noise. Who's doing that? Which one of you guys has that?
Not me. I hear it
Not
too.
me.
Not I, says me.
I'm just
No.
gonna mute one of you until I figure out who it is. It's got to be
Again.
James.
It's probably my knees, or my back, or my neck.
Ronan, you here?
I
I can
hear
hear
Where
it.
would I be gone? Yeah,
It sounds like
is that?
someone's rifling through something.
Yes, someone's like digging through
Is
a
it
desk.
me? It can't be me.
I mean, I don't hear it, John, so I guess that makes me a suspect.
Oh no. Yeah, there's like a little bit of light popping going on. It's all right.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the discussion panel of the night. Art Vandalay 499 says, "Focus trip later than my wife's last period. She's 8 months pregnant." Hey, well, that's actually good to hear, good sir. So that's awesome. You're gonna have a great time, fantastic time. Congratulations to you and your little one. Sabardic Psycho for 2 says, "Got myself a fancy pants new electric lawnmower." Well, there are other ways to come out, but I suppose I hope that works well for you, good sir. Thank you, Sabardic. Focus Trip's wife for 189 says, 9 guys, burgers and fries. Yeah, it's a stacked panel. Stacked panel tonight. Thank you, Mrs.
We're all
Tripp.
pretty stacked.
Huge Ass for 189 says, Glock 15 with the titty on it. I mean, this one probably will have a switch since it will be military only. Absolute Moonman for 10, thank you, sir, says, "Every gun being a Glock off or an M forgery makes me feel like being in traffic and only seeing Honda Civics and Ford Mavericks, all driven by soulless homosexuals."
Are we in the stage that the Soviets were at, where they just had Makarovs and AKs everywhere?
And that was just it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what the funny thing about that is, in this case, that's what's actually good. But
No, it's more like animals evolving into crab or lobster-like forms. Through
6 hour
evolution.
Sig for $4.99 says, excellent. A night off from us. Thanks, Glock. Yeah, no Sig talk tonight, unfortunately. So they can afford a few extra super chats, I suppose. Moonman for $5 says, timeout. What is that wallpaper? MySpace goth girl looking ASS. It's what is it? Let me see. It's a Make America Emo again with JD Vance surrounded by his sad e-girls. I found
That's,
that very funny for some reason.
It's a variety of Hollow IVN members.
You ever seen the new Grok 4 avatar, the anime girl?
Has Grok 4 evolved? I haven't kept up with his saga. Charles Chuck, member for 3 months, says, didn't Steyr just release an AR2? So many ARs. Yeah, I mean, the AR is cheap and easy to make, and it shares a lot of similarities with Glock, which is why everybody rips off Glock, or everybody rips off an AR, because it has a lot of benefits to the system. Thank you, Chuck, for 3. 6 Hour says, your mic will keep cutting out because there's too much gayness on the panel. That's not true. I checked. Everyone is straight on this panel. Thank you, 6 Hour. Everyday American for 5 says, speaking of SIG, making everything gun-related under the sun, what's that old saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. SIG in a nutshell. SIG's got lots of issues, more than just not being good at any one thing. So, but thank you, Everyday American.
You should also complete the saying. The completed saying is Jack of all trades, master of none is still better than a master of one.
Master, okay.
Yeah.
That checks out.
It's better for personal development rather than a product line, though, isn't it?
All things considered, making an AR-15 is a pretty conservative move. Like, there are much crazier things they could be doing. So I think,
you could make it's pretty safe.
Well, I mean, actually, it's probably the most radical thing Glock could do, considering their last 3 generations haven't been that different, right?
Yeah.
Generations of what? Horses? I forgot what we're talking about. What?
That's different.
Nope.
That's a different side. Actually, that's true. They have been down different side tangents in the past. Some of their other business ventures, I don't know.
Fascinating at best.
John, everybody in chat is saying Hawkeye is gay. Hawkeye, would you like to respond to these rumors?
It's not Pride Month anymore. You don't have to be this way.
I just got done having sex an hour ago. I can assure you I'm not gay.
With men.
With who? With what?
Yeah, that doesn't narrow it down.
Very specific.
I got done sex with a woman, a fine, hot woman of Slavic origin.
Said like the straightest man on planet Earth.
Gay.
Here it is. Thank you. Actually, we have Mr. Richard Cranium hanging out in the back. How's your night going, sir?
It's better. It's better. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Hi, Richard.
Wonderful. How are you doing?
It's been a rough week, but I'm back.
Hanging out. Are you back in Florida now, or are you still hanging out?
I am back. The 2-hour flight last night took around 7.5 hours after a layover where the French female pilot got lost and didn't have enough fuel on board. So, good times.
Jesus.
Yeah, at least you're not dead.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it could have been worse. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Ouch.
French
Yikes.
and a woman.
Yeah, it was great because when she would come on to address everybody, the the flight attendant in the back had to be the translator because nobody could understand what she was saying. Nobody.
That's amazing.
But yeah, we landed at a completely different airport and we're stuck there for like 3.5 hours. After circling our main airport for 15 minutes, we diverted to another one an hour away and then landed. And then they said, oh, well, we didn't have enough fuel to continue to circle for another 15 minutes. And then we sat on the runway for 2.5 hours with the plane running. It's like, okay, yeah. I'm no genius, but I think we had enough. And it was weird because when we landed, the only person who got off was the French pilot, and she went out and met someone in the parking lot, and then got back on the plane to board.
Yeah, so there are minimums amounts of fuel that you need to have on the aircraft. It's like 30 minutes of fuel
This is a riveting discussion, but I think we're going to move it back to the top.
Yeah, go on back to it. It's just, I had a horrible
yeah.
The one thing I could talk about is flying. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Dude, Hawkeye, you can talk about anything. Don't lie to us.
No, I can't.
All right. So the rest of the evening, I had this wonderful idea that we could have kind of a roundtable debate / discussion about the best / worst sayings in the gun industry. Starting off with number one of my personal pet peeves is buy once, cry once. Okay, this is a saying you hear all the time, which usually equates to buy something uber expensive so you never have to buy it again. However, I have never met anyone who has bought any one very expensive item and stopped there. That never happens. So I think people mean by this saying is simply don't buy something cheap that's going to break that you have to replace. Buy something of higher quality, so spend that extra money to get something good, which that saying has something more relative to it, more meaningful. But just saying buy once, cry once, every time I hear that, I just want them to actually explain, what do you mean by that? And the relevant image that I pulled up for this is, here's an LPVO. It's the Steiner M8 XI, widely regarded as good glass and whatnot, but it's $3,000. And it's, I don't know if this is 2.5x better than a PLXC or a Vortex Razor AMG or whatever it might be. So when somebody says buy once, cry once, or get the best thing you can, it's way more complicated than simply drop a ton of cash on a specific item. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
range.
The buy
Go
once,
ahead,
cry
Cam.
once people, I feel like they're the type of people to pull out like a 320 Legion at the range.
Okay, to play devil's
That's
office
the
for a
kind of thing
second,
that
I always
I
read buy once, cry once as if you have the option between, say, the budget line of something versus a slightly nicer thing, whatever it may be, spend the little bit of extra money right up front, so that way you don't end up spending, however much the budget line is, and then how much the step up is.
They say
So
like
it's like, why buy
But what
two
you just said there was like an actual statement with meaning rather than buy once, cry once, though, which is what I hear. James, I know you had something to say on this.
Yeah, I guess I feel like the expression most aptly applies to like the Legion scenario, or someone who just like really wants something for the vibe. Like if you want a scar, don't try to like scratch the itch by buying something that kind of looks like a scar or is kind of similar but isn't actually a scar. Like if you know you're gonna get it, don't work your way up to it. Just get the thing and move on, or don't. Maybe you should make better financial decisions. But I feel like that's where it's appropriate. I think it's still like that mindset isn't particularly helpful or productive. But yeah, I mean, I think that it more applies to people that have a particular thing in mind, but are trying to kind of work their way up to it, which, I mean, I guess some of these things hold their value relatively well, certain optics. So if you actually have a plan for it, but yeah, I mean, I think if you have something particular that you want, you probably should just go and buy that thing rather than trying to buy something that's kind of equivalent, but eventually you're going to go out and buy the thing anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that people do a lot too, is they buy the stopgap purchase, which is actually another topic on this list, but they buy like, oh, well, I can't afford the T2, so I'm buying the like Amazon special. Like that's like the extreme case where they can't afford that good item that they actually want. But I mean, in reality, there's a lot of other items that they could have bought in the mid range that would probably do basically all that they need to do and not buy the $900 T2. Right, because you can get the same performance out of Romeo 4T Pro or a few other optics as well that kind of do the exact same thing. MRO HD, maybe there are other options that aren't that full $900 price tag.
Because I say stopgap to what? Like as in like buying like the I'm new to firearms. I'll buy like a TLR H1 weapon mounted light and get a Hollow Sun reflex sight or something. For my pistol,
well, I suppose there's like this idea of, well, this is the best, but I can't afford it. So like, let's say when it comes to red dots, it's going to be an EOTech or an Aimpoint, right? That's like what people view as the best. It's like, well, I can't drop $600 on an EOTech right now, so I'm going to get Hollow Sun 510C, and it's going to do the same thing basically for 1/3 the price. And that's kind of your stopgap solution, I suppose. What I'm saying by that.
I mean, certainly better than like spending the same money on a Neotech as buying like a lead and steel LP1 instead of getting like the Holosun.
Yeah, you could also do that. Yeah, manufactured in the best Chinese facilities.
Made in China. I had brought up, this was a conversation that Range Day Bro and I had today, where he hit me with the buy once, cry once. And I was like, I get where the statement
that may be where I heard
from.
it from today.
Yeah. He said, he's like, because we were debating how to set up a rifle, and he's like, LPVO, he's talking about 6 arc and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's all awesome, but you're valuing, performance above all else. And if you have the money to do that, that's awesome. But I'm going to say, by and large, most people aren't going to need that. And he hit me with the buy once, cry once. And I said, on the absolute opposite end of that, I'll hit you with be cost effective, because he said, well, a guy, he's going to want to get a fight. He wants to set up an AR, right? And instead of buying some, stopgap like you're saying or whatnot, or something that's mid-tier or low tier, just save up and buy, the $2,000-$3,000 LPVO. And my counter argument was, because he said that people will do that, and that way they don't have to, slowly upgrade as they figure it out. And my counter argument was, that same guy though, who saves up all that money, buy once, cry once mentality, then buy something and goes, oh, wait, I could have gotten a red dot magnifier and it would be better for me than this really expensive piece of equipment. So, it's a saying that needs to be elaborated on more, because it's not just a cut and dry thing.
100%. I agree.
I find that there would be in what we would consider entry-grade equipment that would be adequate for the end user. So like a Holosun 4.3 optic or Sig Romeo 5 on a Smith & Wesson Sport 3 or a BCM upper slapped on like a kitted out lower, that sort of stuff. But then you can have the one step below that where it's just garbage, like a DPMS Oracle with an Amazon special on it.
Good enough, cheap enough.
Yeah, because I think there is I'm not just as good, but a good enough zone where it's like the parts are kind of okay, and they do what you need them to do, where you legitimately can get a thing, go out and practice the thing, and then at some point in the future, right, upgrade them. So I think there are times where that does make sense, because essentially that's how I started out, was by buying things that I could afford. And then once I realized that those things weren't really that good, it's like, okay, well, now I need to upgrade and do things like that. Now, that is not the most cost effective way to do it, because there is like this sweet spot of price to performance where you don't need to go and buy the most expensive thing out there. Like, we'll talk about it in just a second, but there are $5,000 handguns that are not 10 times better than a $500 handgun.
Yeah, value versus viability. Go ahead, Jake. Raise your hand just a little bit higher. There you go.
I'm just gonna say,
like
buy
this.
once.
Hold on, let me adjust.
No.
No, you're good.
I'm just gonna say, buy once, cry once is gay. Buy as much as you want. Max out your credit cards. Cry whenever you feel like it. Specifically in public.
Yeah.
Type shit.
All right. Very nice. Understood. All right. Does anyone have any final thoughts on that before we move on to statement number 2? Because there's like 10 of these.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Are you guys still paying a popping?
I mean, especially.
You're good.
Well, especially for me, like when I was buying my first AK, I really wanted the Russian one back in 2010, and it was expensive. Bought it, and that was it. But the thing is, like one of you were saying before, it's like just buy the thing you want. Like buy once, cry once. If you're getting into the hobby, you don't know if you're gonna like it or not. Sure, get the budget thing to test it out. But if you already know you're like shooting and you want like hey, I want to get an AR and I really like this one. Don't be like, oh, maybe I won't like it. It's just spend the fucking money, because it's really painful when you go through 3 iterations of a rifle and none of them are ones that you actually wanted.
You're gonna try anyway. Get something worth trying.
Are you telling me that when I went through 4 different ACR models because I played it in Modern Warfare 2 and realized that they were all bad, that was actually just a waste of money?
Well, you could have used that as a learning experience to be a better gunsmith and actually get it to work.
No, dude.
Was it a waste of money?
Dana is the only guy that, I mean, I would say it was a waste of money, kind of. But
But if
Dana
you
was
had
the only
fun.
guy that actually has enough. I mean, I had some fun, I suppose. Talking about waste, you can waste a lot of money having fun, though. I mean, come on. That's
Modern
not mutually
Warfare LARP
exclusive.
with an ACR is an acceptable way of wasting money, in my opinion.
All right. Well, this next one also very fun. This is my favorite defense that I get all of the time in lots of videos. It is just as good, which usually when somebody is saying that, it implies the direct opposite of that. It is in fact an inferior product that somebody is saying it is at best okay. It's close enough to the real thing, like whether that's a Bear Creek Arsenal side charger that somebody's put 400 rounds through it and they're like, guys, it's ready to go, bro. It is just as good as the $800 BCM. I've heard this argument in every video that I make on any price range. Like if I make a video on a $500 upper, somebody's going to comment, well, my PSA for $199 on sale does the exact same thing. I would never spend more than that. If you review the PSA on sale for $199, somebody's going to be like, well, actually, I bought a parts kit from Delta Team Tactical for $160 and it works fine, and I would never spend a dime more than that. And the bottom just continues to get lower and lower. And oftentimes, most of the time, almost all of the time, when somebody is saying just as good based on their own very, very anecdotal experience, they don't actually shoot the thing enough or use the thing enough to justify that opinion. It is solely based off of defending their own purchase and their own investment in that product, right? They have a personal investment in that product because it's theirs, because they like it, whether or not that's a justified position. And we've probably all been there at some point when we've bought something that was a little bit less good and been like, oh, you know what, it's fine, it does its thing. And if somebody criticizes it, I'm going to defend it aggressively online.
The qualifier that you need is always for what? Just as good for what? Because they'll all do just as good sitting in your safe, which is what a lot of just as good folks are doing with their guns anyway. So
it's just as good as a drop gun.
Yeah, it's just as good to mag dump in the trash. It's probably just as good to target practice within 50 yards. I mean, so if that's why you're getting it, then it might actually legitimately be just as good for that purpose. But if you want like a duty setup, then it's not going to be just as good for that.
Yeah, the problem just stems from people who and this is not just in the gun community, it's everywhere, but it's people who want to say that whatever they have is just as good, right? They want to pretend it's something it's not. And that's where the problem comes from, is they want to pretend that either whatever they do, whatever they have is something that it's not. And it's like, just own it. I'm not going to tell you that my 3X primary arms prisms is just as good as an ACOG, because it's not. It's simply what I want out of it, and it's what I use. You know, it's not. Don't fool yourself or try to convince others that it's something that it's not.
I'd say a lot of it comes from an investment, like where they put a financial and then at the same time put a financial investment behind a product, and they become X product's greatest defender.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would have their own stake into it. They're emotionally invested into it. And if they back out there, they realize that their own purchase is in fact stupid. And they don't want to appear themselves as a fool, even though they actually are.
John, does anyone actually use this phrase unironically anymore?
I do.
I see it all the time.
People will, yeah. People will.
If I criticize any one of the budget companies for any reason, I'm going to get defenders in the chat or comment section saying, like, if I say, oh, Anderson has spotty QC at times, I'm going to get somebody that says, listen, my Anderson that I bought in 2015 for $499 at my local gun store has been flawless for 10 years. They haven't shot it, but it's been flawless for the last 10 years. So no, I still get, not, they might not say the exact words just as good, but they won't take any criticism of the product as valid.
Well, that's
the most common place you'll find
it. Are you
it.
talking about the particular item, or are you talking about the brand? Because sometimes, again, if it's a QC issue, you get a particular item, it might actually be just as good versus an overall brand, especially if there's a QC questions. And that's, part of what you're paying for is the quality control. So, all right, I'll stop talking.
The P320 is just as good as a Taurus G2C. Unironically, it is just as good.
I don't think so.
It's better. At
No,
being a bomb.
I wouldn't even take. I wouldn't take that argument. That would be a difficult argument to actually make if you wanted to go through it.
I think that the most common place you'll find just as good in the firearms market is lowers. AR lowers. People are going to say my Anderson, my PSA, whatever it might be, my arrow lower is just as good. It's the same as a BCM lower or a Colt lower. You know, they're all the same. I think that's going to be the #1 place you hear it.
I mean, if it's in spec, it is.
I'd say for modular firearms
Yeah.
in general, where it's fairly easy for anyone to take separate components and assemble them together and slap them together to a gun. So your Glock Gen 3 derivative, your AR-15, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see the just as good a lot with like Olight, which I know for a
Olight.
fact Olight is not just as good. I
Well,
personally had an Olight almost explode in my pocket one time. It wasn't turned on.
Hey,
It just
Olight
started
has
getting
pedigree.
really
It's
hot.
stacked bodies, okay?
listen,
You know,
I
I'm
know
sure it
cops
does.
that have been cops for a year and a half and then they got kicked out and they love Olight. Okay.
Yeah,
It's their
I bet.
favorite light brand.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Johnny Q, right?
Also, on a
I didn't
personal
say
note,
Johnny Q, but I mean his circumstance might be very similar to that.
on a personal note to maybe someone on the panel, people who say that the Springfield XD is just as good as the Glock, I'm sorry,
Who
but I
are
think you're
those
wrong.
people?
Yeah, I owned a Springfield
Well, actually,
XC40. I've upgraded with grip
unironically,
zones.
I think the grip zone and the lip zone. I think that Nut and Fancy is a XD defender, if I'm not mistaken. I think he made some really positive videos on the XDM back in the day.
I have two of the XDs, so I love them.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. But you also, according to Huge Ass, look like Make-A-Wish Foundation Indiana Jones. So it makes sense. We got Make-A-Wish Indiana Jones with a Make-A-Wish Walther. It's fantastic, or whatever he carried. No, but Nick has a good point. This is kind of the inverse of it. So at the low end, you have the just as good camp, but then at the high end, you have nothing is as good camp. And I disagree with this. As somebody who shot the LMTs, the Knights armaments, LWRCs and whatnot, I think there's almost like an inverse. I'm sorry. I think there's almost like an inverse quality curve where like the middle BCM to Geisley and anything in between is a sweet spot of price, performance, and in fact, sometimes the best performance on the market. And the truly like cutting edge top tier models are sometimes just worse. So it's almost like there's an inverse relationship to price. So
It's
at the
the
top,
diminishing returns.
well, not just diminishing returns, but sometimes less, right? It actually goes down. Like for instance, what's a good one? So like LMT, while I like the receiver system, I wouldn't choose one over one of my Geisley uppers. I just wouldn't. I would unironically, I would take an LWRC or a Geisley above the rifle that costs twice as much. Right, because I think it actually has more performance or does the thing that I like better, right? So there's at the bottom end you have just as good, and then at the top end you have the guys that like to lord over everybody else with whatever it is that they bring to the range, whether it's a $4,500 HK MR556A4, right? And they're like, oh, you're not shooting a piston rifle, you have a BCM. I guess it's all right for the poors or something like that, right?
It is ironic too, because people like the SIG Spear owners will have that mentality, which is funny because they have some pretty glaring issues with those guns, and they just refuse to know. They
like,
don't
Come back
acknowledge
to
it.
me when you're not on Gen 6 of whatever your rifle is.
Yeah, it's like
And still don't have a good
Geisley
rail.
owner, you a staccato owner, get that poor shit away from me.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that when the staccato guys look down on the Glock
The
guys,
platypus
and then
owners.
the Atlas guys look down at everybody. They're like, "Oh, all of you poors, get away from me."
Yeah, Knight's Armament has to keep an entire jug of hand sanitizer around at SHOT Show because they have to shake hands with the poors.
Well, yeah. So I was
Local
at the Knights
trust.
Armament booth, and I go up there to talk to them about their HS1 service rifles, and they were literally like, "Please don't talk to us. Like, I don't want to talk to you about this. I'm not going to give you any specifics on it." And I was like, "All right, fair enough. I don't know what you're here for, but have a good day, sir." And then after
don't
that,
want to
he
talk to you,
got
poor.
arrested for drunk driving again, so that was funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, see, look, they're in the chat. Weekend Gunner says staccato slander will not be tolerated. Well, listen, as an M to an A, it will continue. I'm sorry, that
That sounded
he's actually
I mean-
actually a better shooter than me too. It's just funny that he's an A class.
That's a big
That's
flex.
awesome.
Yeah,
Big flex.
I know
I'll
Lance
just
be
always
rolling and
lord it
buying
over-
SPI.
Don't even
good
get me
as
started on STI, bro. Dude, I shoot mechanic over the STI, so I don't know what that says.
I will always and forever lord over the fact I have beat people in relay races using a PSA dagger while they had a staccato in their hands. I will never let that one down.
For whatever
The truth of
reason,
it is that
we're
just
gonna-
as good is only valid
energy.
if you're just as good with it as with a better weapon.
So keep that energy, because the next statement is you get what you pay for. And this is very similar kind of to the first two, but it kind of rounds
Yeah.
out from the top down. So let me show you this. This is what I'm referring to. And I have a funny story to go along with this right here. So Atlas Gunworks sells some pistols ranging from 5 if you're poor, up to 8 or 9 if you can afford their total custom jobs, right? They're very nice handguns. I know lots of fantastic shooters who love Atlas, whether it's the Titan, Athena, whatever it might be, right? However, when somebody says you get what you pay for, and it's a $6,000 handgun, I don't know what that means, because if that implies that it is in some way twice as good as a staccato, or 3 times as good as a staccato, or 10 times better than a Glock, when you have somebody like Brantley Merriam taking second place in nationals with a Glock 17, you get what you pay for becomes this meaningless, nebulous statement. Now, I know a lot of guys that run Atlases. At the last super classifier that I was at, the winner was running a Atlas, I might get the model number wrong, Titan or something like that. Very, very good shooter, whatnot. But then on the flip side of that, you have like the retired person who gets an Atlas as their retirement present, and then NDs into the sky because they forget how light the trigger is while they're reloading. And that's actually a real story that happened at the match that I was at. So I mean, just getting the most expensive thing, you get what you pay for. I've never understood that, because it implies that by buying a cheaper thing, it's not as good as the more expensive thing. When it comes to handguns or even optics, like again, a $3,000 LPVO, is that 3 times as good as a Vortex Razor HD, which is probably the most prolific LPVO of all time, if not the ATACR. But one of those two is probably the most tested optics or LPVOs of all time. I just don't know what it means.
What
about
the
I'd say
people who are saying that?
I'd say the Atlas is absolutely deplorable and a gun for the poor. You need to get yourself a Terran Tactical Sand Viper.
Real.
Consider the high point.
Which is
Well, so that might be a good argument on the low end, is by buying something so cheap, you get something that is so cheap. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a valid statement to a point, just like with diminishing returns. It's valid to a point. Personally, I think that point's around $1,800.
The guys who say you get what you pay for is usually a snide comment when people have something that maybe starts to have issues, or they have a firearm at the range and it jams one, so the guy looks over and he goes, yeah, you get what you pay for. Look at me, I spent $3,000 on something. You're like, all right, yeah, got it, thank you.
Next time I'm shooting my Glock at a competition and someone's 2011 that they spent multiple thousands of dollars on jams, I'm gonna look at them and say, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, rub it in their face.
Diabolical.
I think the majority of people who say you get what you pay for are often manufacturers who are trying to hawk overpriced goods.
Yeah, there's probably a bit of that too.
Like GBRS?
I wasn't going to name names, but...
Sorry.
Oh, I mean, dude, where's my Hydra? I have a Hydra around here somewhere.
Yeah. I mean,
where's my carry handle? That's better than Hydra.
Chinese one with 75
what is
steel.
This is the Aim Point Comp M5. This is like $1,000 red dot. It's just a red dot. But yeah, and then I put this on a Hydra mount, and that's like a $1,300 setup right there.
It's a big red dot too.
Girthy.
It's fine. It's not as big as the Romeo 8T that I got over here.
Do you have the ability to put a pick rail on your Glock so that way you can then put the Hydra and the...
Get one of those crazy adapters.
I have a Recover Tactical chassis. I get a dovetail pick adapter. I put the Hydra on top of the dovetail pick adapter in the Recover tactical chassis, and I have the
Do
ultimate
it.
PDW, brass
Do
tacks
it.
certified PDW.
Do it just for the memes.
Mm.
I wonder if he'd even cycle with all that weight
Oh, it
and
will.
all
the
that
light and the recoil
leverage.
spring.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I don't think it would cycle because that's like 6-7 ounces on top of it. It's like doubling the
Yeah.
slide weight.
You might get away
you'd
with
be
it though
alright.
if you get one of those crazy rails that mount into the under barrel pick slot, and then put the Picatinny rail over the slide that's free floated. That might work.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's other ways to get it to work, but I mean, we're just talking. We're at different levels of abomination at this point.
Yeah, we're memeing.
I mean, I'm just gonna. You get what you pay for. Really doesn't apply in most areas of life. I mean,
I
you
think
could,
what
you know,
Julia said is the low end. The low end is where that statement might actually hold some weight. Like
yeah.
if you show up
$100
with
to
if you
about
show up
$1,800.
with a dagger and then the pins start walking out, because that's just a known issue on some dagger frames. It's like, well, I mean, you saved a couple $100 and you got something that was a little bit worse.
Well, that's
Yeah.
assuming. Well, that saying is assuming the poor stuff is actually built to a poor quality, and it's not poor quality with like really high price points. Like say $1,000 for an AK.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
also might have application within classes of things, right? Like even the Atlas example, that's a specialist tool for a particular use case that you're not getting, 5 times the performance that you're getting with Glock, but you're getting a tool that's for a different purpose, ostensibly. So I think within a class, it might be somewhat applicable, but even then you get diminishing returns. It does come into play.
Mhm.
Do you guys? Sorry, I keep on cutting out. There was a spider that was terrorizing me from above. It kept on dropping down. I don't know if you could even see it. At one point, it was on the camera. But
A friend.
So when you turned your camera off, you were actually just running around screaming, trying to kill the thing.
I was like.
No, he was running for his wife.
No, I ended
He
up
was running to
singeing
get
it
his
with
wife.
my lighter, so that worked pretty well.
Damn.
I
We
would
could've left
say-
the camera
I
on.
would
We could have been reported to PETA.
I would say more so than you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for in respects of where you buy things. Like if you go behind Waffle House and buy a baggie of some snow, and you get a bunch of other stuff in it that you don't want, that's going to make you overdose. I mean, you get what you paid for, but you paid too much, right? And you got the bad product. All right, it's the same thing with gun stuff. You could pay way too much for something from a gun company, and it's like a really bad product, but it's just the name behind it.
Mhm.
And you're like, oh, this should be good because it has this logo on it. When in reality, someone else might make something better for less money.
Well, yeah,
Paying
it's like buying the
$500 for
Terran
a lead and steel
tactical canic when it is just a canic with a comp on the end. Like that's it, and it's double the price for some reason.
or buying a
Hello.
$500 lead and steel LP1 reflex sight.
You're just gonna always bring it back to LP1 as they're at their local facility here, dude. I was talking about lead and steel. Somebody sent me the interior of their manufacturing facility in China where they had like all of the raw frames being made, and like sent me who was actually making it for them. So now I mean I have all that information in video out, so I could actually show that.
Please don't leak GSB proprietary data.
Was it next to LC sign? Hey, homie, it's Tony.
Hey, homie, it's Tony. Okay, next one. If you can't get it done with 8, you aren't going to get it done with more. And this is obviously a reference to, 45 1911s or any single stack gun. Now, hear me out. I'm going to counter argument this a little bit because I don't carry a spare magazine. Now, I do carry a Glock 17, so maybe I don't need a spare magazine, but I do think that there are some people that maybe take it a little bit too far in their daily lives, where it's sidecar that has an extra holster, that has a spare magazine in the back pocket, plus a tourniquet, plus an IFAK wrapped around their ankle, plus a knife, plus a daylight, plus a, whatever else it might be. And they just have like this extreme, like Rambo-esque kit that they carry with them every single day. But I want to hear your guys' take on spare mags or magazine capacity, because I know some people carry tiny guns with
That's
like
just gun level though.
So
What's-
to be
Describe
fair,
gun
if you
level.
look at raw stats, what is it? Most self-defense situations end in what, 5 rounds? 6?
Three.
Three
Three,
rounds,
yes.
3 meters, and 3
I
seconds.
don't know how those are quantified, bro.
That in itself. I'm sorry, I don't care if it's from the FBI. That in itself is fuddler. I don't care what most of them end in,
Well, they
because I've seen plenty of
probably-
videos of stuff that goes absolutely insane. It's like I'm not
Well, Jake,
preparing for the
don't-
average.
Don't
And since
forget, they
when is it a
also,
good
they also
idea to
include
trust the
suicides
feds
in for
anyway?
gun crime. So we have a lot of one shots bringing that average down.
That's very true.
Well, also,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a big discrepancy, okay? Because if you look at some of the shootouts in, say, I don't know, Philadelphia, there might be 30, 40 rounds defensively shot in some of those scenarios, whereas a lot of them, it's one. You know, so I feel like the average doesn't mean anything, but if we look at like maybe the middle cases, there might be a more meaningful average that could be derived.
Yeah,
I think carrying an extra magazine you should do, and I'll carry stupid guns like an FN 1910 or my HK USP and 45 Super. Always have an extra magazine.
I don't think it's bad to carry an extra. It honestly causes no problems. It's just a magazine. Doesn't
throw
take
it in
up
your
room.
pocket.
It's not uncomfortable. I mean, I would carry it in a mag
Actually,
holder.
okay. All right, so
but-
here's how it goes. Who here does not carry an extra mag?
I don't.
It depends on the gun. If
Oh,
I'm carrying
I
Really?
carry one. I'm not raising my hand.
Everybody. So
Anything
wait,
past
Bones,
16
you or
rounds,
don't?
it's up to God.
That's awesome.
John, can we show magazine?
Bones, you do or don't? You can show magazines, yeah, of course.
I do carry one spare magazine in my
One
the
spare
quote unquote EDC concealed carry. I carry one spare.
I carry one.
I used to carry 2 when I carried a
Sure.
single stack, but I don't do that anymore because I think it's a little nuts. But
If I'm traveling or on a road trip or something, I will keep a spare one in the center console, and my dad and we both end up carrying the same gun, or at least interchangeable magazines. So there will always be at least one spare in the console between the two of us, and we don't go far from the vehicle on trips. But if it's just me and I am out in my day-to-day, I don't carry a spare. I have a 17 with the +2 on it, and I use that.
Yeah,
There
so I
you
mean, I
go.
guess it depends on where you live too, because I live in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, and the largest predator I ever encounter is a possum. You know, so like
I'm in
like,
Florida,
it's
and
yeah,
I
you're
can
in a
encounter black
it's a
bears.
pretty safe area.
Wait, you don't have black bears or mountain lions?
On a registry.
In South
Florida,
Dakota,
I
in
think
eastern South Dakota, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing lives out here. We have
No,
deer.
we do.
That's about
We
it.
have black bears and mountain lions down here. That's what's weird.
we also have
Yeah.
Florida man. That'd be my biggest concern.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add. I want to add to it. Like it does depend on where you're going, what you're doing. If you're doing something where you're in a situation that it might be needed, why not carry an extra mag? Honestly, sometimes I carry 2. Just depends on what I'm doing for certain circumstances.
Yeah. I
That
don't
being
have any
said,
philosophical
I'm gonna-
means for not carrying a second mag. Sometimes I just don't, or most of the time I say I just don't.
I'm gonna agree with the if you can't get it done in 8 rounds, you can't get it done with more. In the sense that I see some people where they can't even hit their first 8 shots, or they're not going to be able to get more than 8 shots off in 45 seconds. If you can't get it done, you're probably not alive anymore.
Well,
So it's
yeah.
like-
to that point, I think what is actually important there is like what we see with police officers. Well, they might be carrying 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mags. Very relevant if they can't hit the target. So there was a video shared. There was a video shared in the Discord of a cop who had to engage a person inside of a nursing home who was threatening people with a chainsaw. Right. So straight out of some like B horror slasher flick, he fires 6, 7 rounds. Only hits one of them, I want to say, and then the others into the ether, right? However much ammo he spent, and there were people around, like people.
I think you're missing the main reason why the saying exists, and it's because it's Fuds defending a single stack 1911 in a world of CZs, HKs, and Glocks.
Yeah, well, I would twist that and just be like, you might be correct in there, but it's because you don't have the required level of skill, right? So it doesn't matter how much ammo you carry on yourself if you cannot do the thing with the thing, right?
Yeah,
I also you're right because you suck at shooting.
But if you can't hit it, you can't hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
also a video.
There's 2 kind of facets to this, and it's the capacity versus skill. I think is really what it boils down to.
There's
I'm sorry,
also a
Jake.
video. There's a video that lives in my head. It's a body cam video of an officer don't remember where it was, but they were using an M&P, I believe. And throughout the course of this officer engaging someone, they dropped 3 magazines out of their gun just by gripping the gun too hard, and kept having to go to reloads, fire like 2 shots, drops the magazine. Not that we would do that because we're super skilled and great and know how to react under pressure.
I have never botched a reload under pressure in a match, and there is certainly not a clip of that on my Instagram.
So even for that,
the video that lives in my head is the one of the officer who shot a guy 14 times with 45 ACP, and the guy still did not go down. He ended up taking 3 more to the face before the guy ended up going down. And now that officer carries 145 rounds of 9mm.
Okay, that's a little excessive.
He
I don't
fucked
know.
up. He should have used 22 because the 22 will bounce around inside of you. That 45 AARP isn't cutting it anymore, dude.
You're gonna have to answer for
they
that
had it
statement
on
Gates.
It was on Donut Operator's channel, the report and the body cam and all that. Guy in the middle of nowhere pulled over somebody running drugs for the cartel, and he had 3 guns on him, 2 handguns and an SKS. And as soon as the cop started to get out of his car, the guy jumped out and started opening fire on the cop. And it was you could insert the meme here. It was a firefight. And it was.
I believe in that incident. The officer was carrying a 45 auto.
Yeah, he was carrying a 45 auto, and he ended up his last round is what took the guy down.
I mean, for me, I carry a spare magazine just because even though I carry a Glock 19, 15 shots, pretty adequate, but just in case I have a magazine or ammunition related malfunction, or
I've heard that argument as well.
Or I eject the magazine by some stupid thing or by stress, I need to like put the other magazine back inside.
Well, get better bullets.
I've also heard that as a reason for people carrying revolvers because instead of having to clear a malfunction,
New York reload
the next cylinder.
Dude, okay, does anyone actively carry a revolver?
I did for 2 years.
Although I do know people who go to church, and for whatever their concealability thing is, they carry a revolver for that. So I mean,
when
there
I wear
are
a suit or have my shirt tucked in, I'll carry a revolver ankle holster.
Holster, really?
Like a backup gun. Like a backup gun.
No, that'll be my primary. I don't like doing that, but if I'm wearing, a nicer outfit,
you can't get away from that.
It just depends because I have a J-frame 38. It's what's that, model 36, wherever Smith & Wesson makes. That thing is tiny, and I love it, and that just tucks right in my belt. I made a leather holster for it, so the handle just sticks out, and it's really easy to conceal.
I did something similar with my Enfield number 2.
I went the opposite direction with that. I open carried a Smith & Wesson J-frame 5-inch barrel over the weekend.
Damn.
Well, Vic says that this is J-frame is his least favorite gun term, so now everybody's going to say J-frame 100 times in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, you should just carry a Glock and get over it. You don't need a revolver to conceal.
I grew up watching the original Hawaii 5.0 series from the 80s, dude, and that made shoulder holsters with a revolver like that was.
I could not find a shoulder holster. I looked and looked and looked all weekend long. The only one I could find was what?
Galco.
GALCO.
No, I was looking for them in person. I didn't have much.
Okay.
I was looking for a very specific type of shoulder holster, and I could not find one in any gun store. I went to all of the sporting goods stores, gun stores all over. I could not find them anywhere.
For which handgun?
Smith & Wesson. It's the Model 10 size, but it's actually a Model 13-4. It's a very, very weird gun. 357.
Interesting. We're gonna get through some of these real fast before we move on to the next topic. Pat at Safely Strapped for $4.99 says thoughts on Glock making a 26X, a Glock 26 slide with a snub-nosed G19 frame, and would you choose one over the 43X? It's pretty much a fat 43. So a full grip with a 3.2-inch barrel, so 15-round capacity. I don't love the super short guns because if I'm getting a 19 sized frame, I'd rather just have the 19 sized slide. So, I mean, That's my take on it. Like, I don't. What's the reverse? The 45, is that what it is? Where it has a 17 grip and a 19 slide? I'd rather just have the 17 or the 47 personally.
I like the idea of the 26L, which is a 19 length slide on a 26
with a shorter grip. Yeah, I actually don't mind the 26 grip with a 12 round mag.
Yeah, they're nice.
Focus Trip's wife for 189 says, "What is this? A panel of ants? Needs to be at least 3 times this size." Yeah, no, we were all pretty small when we have something pulled up on screen. 6 Hour for 199 says, "This panel is how herpes number 32 was created." I don't even know what that is, but I will take your word for it, good sir. Pat Safely Strapped for another 5 says, "Do you think Glock is using Ruger as a guinea pig to compete with SIG's modularity?" No, I think it's just out of their control. I don't think they had anything to do with the RXM. I think Magpul has a pretty good design philosophy, and they've made some really cool products in the past. I think they have a history of passing off their designs to bad companies, though. I hope that Ruger can maintain quality on the RXM and bring out a good chassis. And yes, I'm still not over the Magpul Masada, which is the original design for the ACR, which then they sold off to Remington, which passed it off to Bushmaster, which murdered the design over the next 10 years. So,
rest in peace.
Thanks for that, Magpul. Mitchell Black 49 says, "Breaking news: Bill Ruger confirmed on the Epstein list. Last seen flying on the Lolita Express before passing away." Man, people will never let it go. People hate Bill Ruger.
I don't know what list he's talking about.
That's actually true. The list doesn't exist. I've been told that this list with people on it doesn't actually exist, or that it was written by Obama.
My cat told me it exists, and that's all I need to know.
Not to derail, but did you see earlier that she now says she's willing to come to Congress and testify about the list?
Oh, what's her face?
Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison for nothing, apparently, right? I mean, she couldn't have trafficked these women to people. I mean, there's no list of them.
Victimless crime.
Marty's sad about her suicide.
Yeah, dude. Already planning the funeral.
Everybody type F in chat to free our girl Ghislaine.
Well, her sister
she didn't do nothing.
Didn't do nothing. Yeah.
Her
absolute
very well.
Absolute Moon Man for 2 says, "LMAO, the wallpaper is Kino." Man, I love Fauna.
My man.
Something about that. The crying cat, the American hats, the Make America Emo Again with JD Vance with his Panic at the Disco flavor. Uh-oh, my mouse is dying. I can't get it off the screen. Oh no.
Oh no.
Guys, my computer is dying. Thank you, Moon Man, for the 2. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Let's hope this keeps working. Huge Ass 49 says, "Eugene Stoner keeps winning." True. All designs end in Eugene Stoner. That's just how it's going to go.
Genius of a man.
Absolute Moon Man for 2 says, "Slav, a race mixer." Wow, that's harsh. Slavs are humans too, okay? Chuck McGill 69 for 199 says, "Hawkeye." Oh my gosh. Whoa. Whoa. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Focus Trip's wife 49 says, "Richard giggling is the equivalent to that Asian girl in bed meme." Yeah, that's the one. That is good. Let's see. Huge Ass 199 says, "When did Timu G2 join the chat?" Which one is that? Who's Timu GT? It could be any one of us.
I think.
Yes, I'm showing a little bit of chest hair. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about Jake.
No, Jake is more like
Jake's
more
admin.
Three Docs administrative gentleman.
Oh, hey, he's got on it. Loops the cat for 2 says, "I only carry a 45 because they don't make a 46, Sonny." That's right.
460.
That's right.
Well, you're a loser unless you carry the 50 GI.
Oh.
6 Hour 49 says, "But did Richard meet up with the 13?" Wow, say, what are you saying? What are you
That's
saying?
not nice.
It was 14, sir. The Scotch was 14 years old, not 13. Get it right.
Gay Boner, great name for 5, says, "I only regret the cheap purchases I've made, never the medium too expensive." Trying to think. I've as I said earlier, I bought multiple multi-$1,000 ACRs that I all ended up selling, so I kind of regret those. I mean, it was still fun, right? But I don't think that was worth the money I paid for them. Yeah, the mid-tier purchases, I almost never have a problem with anything that's in that acceptable range of, whatever it happens to be. And last one for now, Tuss the Third 49 says, my uncle says it's okay to cry. No shame in it.
Big girls don't cry.
I'm pretty sure your uncle might also be on a certain list, good sir. All right. Next topic is all you need is a shotgun for home defense. I have never had a shotgun set up for home defense ever. I just who's typing right now?
I apologize. It won't happen again.
Okay, this is really loud. Just mute yourself if you're going to do it. But no, yeah. So back to shotguns for home defense, man. I don't know where they got this reputation of being like simple or easy to use, because usually it's like there's a specific action between each shot that you have to take. You can't short stroke it. It has a lot of recoil. So if you're nope, Jake. So if you have to pass it off to like your wife or something like that, I've never thought of that as a very feasible self-defense or home defense weapon. Like when I'm gone, my wife just has a handgun and then access to an AR that's, in the safe or something like that. Right. I think that's
you definitely don't want to short stroke it and then hand it to your wife. That'd have been a horrible thing to do.
Stop it. No, I think the myth comes from, people just way over exaggerate the spread. And so they think that you just don't have to aim with a shotgun. I think that's the biggest thing. But yeah, no, I don't think it's a horrible idea if you are, especially for like your wife or someone who's a little older. So I had a shotgun. It was like a Maverick 88 that I kept in my parents' house just because I wanted them to have a gun. They had a handgun as well, but I just thought they should have multiple options. And so I took my mom out to the range just to, let her feel the recoil, see if she can manage it. And it was like a cartoon almost. She fired it and was just so shocked by the recoil, just like threw it up in the air, and we're like, oh. So it's not a great gun for anyone who's a little bit older or a little bit more on the frail side. So it's just not a great home defense gun in general. If you know what you're doing, I'm sure it can be useful, but the over penetration when it comes to shotguns is also not to be underestimated, certainly for like buckshot. So
for me, I find that a shotgun is a great option for someone who is limited to a budget of $300. Because you can't really get a good rifle at that price range.
Or you can still get a police trade-in Glock for $300 though.
If you're under 21, then that makes it more challenging.
That's niche. Yeah, 18 to 21 years old, very very small budget. You can grab a $200 shotgun from your local store and have a gun.
Also, it's viable in places that have a lot of very restrictive laws that would make other types of firearms not very reasonable, to attain. And I'm gonna say it, man. I think I'm a big time shotgun fan. I love them. I think they're great, and I'm fully supportive of this FUD lore.
No, well, I think I actually was in that category of when I was in college before I turned 21. I did buy a bolt action rifle and a shotgun before I bought my first handgun. But that was purely out of necessity, not because I was like, "Oh, this is the best weapon of all time."
I do have a shotgun set for home defense.
What is it?
It is a Benellium 2. It's my competition one, and I threw a light on it, so it's 10 in the quad two, loading one ghost loaded. I'll have a speed lotus for it too. But you think about it, so we'll just go. You have a semi shotgun and you have buckshot. You're gonna go deaf no matter what gun you shoot in the house, and just having something with a stock will make it easier to aim. And yeah, you're right. You do still have to aim it, but pistols put holes in people, rifles put holes through people, and shotguns with the right load at the right range would blow chunks of shit out of them and throw it on the floor. So
that's
shoot
him
in the
groin. Smith line. Yeah, that's fantastic. But no, if you know what you are doing, of course they can be extremely effective. But I would just pick other weapon systems before I picked a shotgun. Now, here's something that I thought of. Okay, so let's say this scenario. We have an older person in our family that we want to equip with a self-defense weapon that's going to be effective and easy to use. Is the MP5 the best choice for them?
Either that or an AR-9.
No.
A good one.
AR-9 with an FRT and a can. That's my pick.
What?
But
Wait,
like
hold on, an old
MP5 has like
person?
no recoil though. Like a full
Yeah, I
size.
was
but the
gonna say,
manual
if
arms
it's
suck
Yeah.
shit.
I
The
would
The
manual
just give
MP5
them.
sucks more than
It's
the
30
AK.
rounds. It's
Hey,
30.
I will
They're
say-
not reloading. They have 30 rounds.
I actually use an MP5 with a can as my home defense sort of situation,
and Coley is an
underrated.
invalid, so it checks out.
Yeah, well, mentally, but
I would say an MP5 would be better than an AR9 for someone who is recoil sensitive, because the AR9, unless you do a decent bit to it, is a relatively jumpy weapon system. So, and I'm not really super worried about them reloading with the 30 round mag. So, yeah, I mean that sounds fine. That or if somebody's like really recoil sensitive, like I'm almost gonna say like a 1022, like with good ammo in it. They're going to be able to control that.
It's not as reliable. I don't love that because it's not very reliable.
Yeah, that's the one thing, right? Is they have to be able to rack it.
Like my mom trying to control like a 9mm handgun without like a lot of training, which she's never going to do. Not really that feasible. Now maybe something like 38 ACP or 380 or something even smaller, 32 ACP or something like that. Maybe that would be more feasible for her.
32.
Right?
Now think about this. Picture this, boys. Trench shotgun. Bayonet fixed. It's the perfect home defense weapon.
He just hasn't stopped thinking about it since we brought it up.
I'm sorry, man. It's so good.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, for the best weapon for CQC has always been historically flamethrowers.
Exactly. Bucky gets it.
Actually, maybe it's the stockless Draco. Stockless Draco. That's the way to go.
30 rounds, 7.62 by 39, compact and maneuverable. I don't see it. It's a flashbang every time you shoot it. I don't see the problem here.
And you can shoot it one-handed as well.
Yeah.
Obrez could also be a viable option.
Oh God.
Tannerite. That is also a good home defense tool.
The Tannerite Roombas, yeah.
Yeah, you know what you should actually buy for your older relatives? It's called a dog. Get a Doberman.
A dog.
German Shepherd.
Get a pit bull. Those things are vicious.
Well, nope, not that. That's if you want to remove them.
I mean, if you want them to eat any babies.
Buy a cheap gun and shoot the barrel out, then buy something nicer.
This reminds me of the tool saying, like you buy a cheap set of tools and then when you break one, you just buy a quality one.
In a way, I can kind of get that with tools because there's definitely times where I cheap out on a tool where I'm only going to use it for one hyper specific job, right? So I'm like, well, is it really worth buying the $300 set when I just need like this one thing for this one job, this one time? But with a firearm, something that you're actually going to be using to be training with, if that's your purpose of buying it, like shooting out a barrel on a Glock, nearly impossible. You're going to be spending 30,000 rounds divided by 250 per thousand is $7,500. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of money invested on burning out that barrel, even if it's an AR, about the same cost because the ammo is more expensive, even though it's less total rounds. I think the barrel is probably the last thing to go on a cheap item. Like, I don't know if it's physically possible to burn out a barrel on a high point before the gun explodes.
Only one way to find out.
I unintentionally did this with my rifle, and it is what it is. I was a low knowledge gun purchaser, so I just did it. But I'm not that bent out of shape because you can get pretty good barrels for not too much money. Like you can buy them from someone who might be on the panel tonight. Nope. Okay.
No, I mean, of course you can, but don't do that.
Not legit,
I actually offer a free rebarrel on your first barrel. So if you buy one of my uppers, you get a free first rebarrel.
Do you hear that, guys?
Yes,
that's
crazy.
It's kind of funny. I did the anecdote. I had a Smith & Wesson Sport 2, and after mag dumping and bump firing a bunch of steel case ammunition and bimetal jacketed ammunition through it, wore it out around 8,000 rounds. Then the barrel was like, I was like, why is it about my accuracy crap? And I chronoed it. It had like a 20% velocity loss compared to a different 16-inch, to like 3 different 16-inch barrels.
So I actually don't necessarily consider the Sport 2 though a cheap rifle. Like it for a little while was like the entry level rifle. It was like if you want something that's relatively quality. I remember back in the day they had the polygonal rifling or something else on those older Sport 2. So they were actually like a decent
5R.
Yeah. They're actually like a decent rifle, all things considered. I think they might have been cucked in terms of their bolt carrier group, but you know.
Yeah, they were.
They
came in with the cut bolt carrier group, and they were really good rifles for what they cost. I think it was like $520 out the door at one point in time when they were, you know, the M&P Sport 2, I think it was the first gen that they come out with that still had the before they brought out the M-Lock handguards and stuff.
Yeah,
it was a nice rifle. It was set up right out the box, you know, irons already sighted in. It came test fired. It was a good rifle for somebody's first rifle.
Jake, what was the rifle that you bought to burn out?
I bought a PSA Freedom Upper, and I got lucky, I guess. It was hitting like 1.5 MOA, which was surprising. It was like 55 grain Winchester white box. I was very surprised about that because everyone just told me PSA is garbage, PSA is garbage, which it is. It's really overgassed, but other than that, it works very well. But I am going to replace it just because I want to have nicer stuff. I have the parts for it, but I just haven't done it yet.
Well, now that I know that you offer free rebarrels, I will get my Lothar Walther upper built done by you, sir.
Damn, yeah. Pick the most expensive barrel possible. And you're like, all right, perfect. Excellent.
This is what I want.
Burn it
You
out
said
in like
you do
6
it.
months.
But
It's true.
like the Sport 2 is one of those things where at the time of its release and around the context of where it's at its time period and its contemporaries, it's a solid rifle for low price.
Well, I mean, if you could fast forward and bring a $500 Sport 2 into 2025, like it would actually at $500 would be still a compelling buy. But I think they're on the Sport 3s, and I think they're like $700-800 maybe.
I mean, like to be fair, the handguard was the biggest problem of it. Cheap plastic non-shielded handguard, and that thing melted during a competition. So
yeah, those plastic handguards suck. But I did see an Anderson complete AR the other day at my local gun store. They wanted $439 for it, and it had it was set up ready to go. Already had I think it was the UTG metal irons on it, and one of the guys come in, he picked it up, and I said, "You won't find any of those anymore. They stopped making them." And he walked right over and bought it that instant. So
yeah, it's a limited edition now, bro.
Yeah, but like, I think those cheaper entry level rifles are definitely appealing for a lot of people, and the fact that one less manufacturer that was making decent products it's sad.
10 millimeter because they don't make an 11. Does anybody shoot 40 or 10 millimeter here?
I do.
Of course, Hawkeye, but I just got to take Hawkeye off the panel because every time I ask, hey, does anyone do this one random weird thing? Hawkeye's like, yeah, of course I do. Why wouldn't I?
I'm autistic, but I ain't that autistic.
Come on. It's fun. I like 40. 40 is a great caliber. It gets a lot of hate. It doesn't deserve it.
It's interesting because I mean I'm shooting your STI. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be in terms of the recoil and stuff.
I want a 10 millimeter. I want to get a Glock 20 at some point, but
just for fun.
40.
Just for like backpacking trips in Wyoming, Montana, whatnot. Yeah.
And I mean, if people want to use a 10 millimeter for specific stuff where it makes sense, then that's fine. More power to them. But I think it's funny when people think they need a 10 millimeter for like an EDC.
You know what really upsets me is you still see this all the time, but it's anytime you see a new PCC come out and it's, oh, if they made this in 10 millimeter, I would definitely buy it. Because I guess the idea is that they want a hybrid pistol rifle that has more oomph than 9 millimeter, but still less than 5.56, like nothing compared to 5.56. It still is a pistol round at the end of the day. It just has a little bit more energy. And that mentality, I'm like, well, you're getting a worse platform with a mediocre round. And I mean, you're essentially shooting like what, 357? You might as well get like a lever gun or something at that point.
I mean, like historically, those have been like the worst selling guns ever, like the Ruger Deerstalker 44 carbine.
I have one.
Of course you do.
Or like the high point 10mm. Are those still in production?
Yeah,
I don't think so,
maybe, but I mean, they're also that's a special case because they're so cheap that people buy them. But I have a well, I guess this translates to most calibers, but I think all the people that own the 10mm don't actually shoot them all that much because it's kind of expensive to get real 10mm.
You just shoot 40 out of it.
yeah.
Just shoot 40. I mean, 40. The pressure difference between 40 and 10 mils like only 25,000 psi. It's not that much different. But
Yeah,
you're still-
depending on
the same velocity.
Depending on the box,
loading.
you might, depending on the box or the manufacturer, that might go the opposite direction too. By the way.
Yeah. Yeah, but you still get.
Weekend Gunner has a very important question for the panel. Favorite pizza? Chicken bacon ranch Chicago style.
Supreme.
I'm gonna have to go with pepperoni, sausage, and chicken from Domino's.
Mushroom anchovy, but really crispy.
That is so insane.
What style crust? What style crust?
New York style, thin, crispy New York style.
I'm a big fan of just a traditional New York style pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
I get the Sicilian, the square pie with the really crispy edges with the cheese that goes all the way up. Square cut slices, and the toppings are usually 3 meats with ham and two types of sausage, onions, peppers, mushrooms.
Lots
I
of
just
toppings, all right.
I just like pepperoni and black olives on a thin crust.
Oh,
To me, that's perfect.
no olives.
Simple.
I
Yeah,
actually
dude.
have
As
them
a kid,
remove the
I used to
olives.
always take off olives. You know,
Olives
I don't know
are
what it
good,
was, but I
though.
used to always take them off.
No,
They're
they
so
are
good.
gross.
Oil, not so
They're
much on the food
slimy.
itself.
The texture is awful. They taste awful. No.
Chris, what's your favorite type? Did you say it?
Chicago pizza
No, not
is
yet.
a pizza. They have 2 different types. Deep dish is not a pizza. The
Mhm.
real Chicago
Mhm,
pizza
mhm.
is a thin crust which served with jardiniere.
A close to front to God is a Korean or Japanese style pizza where it's like corn, mayonnaise, and tuna as
It
toppings.
is.
Bro,
The amount of
bro,
shit they do that. They do
what?
that over in fucking Poland too. It's disgusting.
It's a
Dude,
big
my
thing in
brother was
Japan.
stationed in Poland for like 9 months. I think he told me that. He's like, the pizza here is awful. Like, what are they doing?
Not pizza.
I do love a good Chicago deep dish style pizza.
Yes, it is.
Are we just gonna start doing Dave Portnoy style pizza reviews?
All right, now
Yeah,
let's
we're
go
gonna
like
call it
Monday to Tuesday, so
two bites or something like that.
the 2
Or
bite
start
review.
yelling at people?
Yeah.
A box full
So
of boys.
the real question though, pro or no on pineapple?
No.
No pineapple.
Hell no.
I like pineapple.
No pineapple.
All right, kick him,
Bacon
John.
is a good combination.
Wait, what was that,
Pineapple ham is
James?
not as good. Pineapple bacon is a good combination. Pineapple ham, not quite as much, but
Are you
I don't like
do you
ham
like
on
maple
pizza.
bacon?
Pineapple
as a
and
combo?
pepperoni.
yeah, I don't mind it.
Pineapple and pepperoni goes good with a crisp, thin crust. And if you use a little bit of barbecue sauce, mix barbecue sauce in with your marinara, that is a very, very good pizza.
Pineapple can complement the sweetness in a barbecue. If it's the right barbecue sauce, it can be really
Yeah.
good. The old Papa John's barbecue sauce from like 10 years ago, they switched the sauce, but they used to have a fantastic barbecue sauce that went really good with a pineapple, bacon, chicken.
Yeah.
It was just
And I would order that with, I would order that regularly. That was
We
one of the
should
good ones.
we should start a food stream. Just talk
Bro,
about
yeah,
food.
people. It is on in the chat. In
So,
the chat. These people.
Eventually,
Damn.
after my life calms down, I am going to create a cooking channel that just does recipes and cooking hacks, as people like to call it on the internet now. It's just easy meals and cheap meals that will feed a lot of people, and I'll also throw up the macros and stuff, so that way people at least know what they're eating and what they're consuming. So,
An underrated
Also
cooking
potato
channel
and
is
onion.
Arson Bjork. He does everything drunk.
Or
Named her first
Life
hamburger,
Before.
so Right in the center, and then 2 patties
Casey's
as the
pizza
buns.
existence is terrible because I'm in the Midwest, and so there's a Casey's everywhere. It's the bane of my existence.
Bones is back. I want to get Bones. Explain real Chicago pizza to these people, please. Oh, he's muted his mic.
All right. Well, hey, we'll move on. We'll move on from the
gas station pizza is really good and underrated.
It depends. It depends. I've had really good gas station pizza. Okay, here we go. I'm a lifetime NRA member / NRA certified instructor.
Very nice. Now
whatever you hear after that statement, just throw it away. Just get rid of it. There's nothing useful is going to come after that statement. Just ignore it. Just
a bullet might come after that statement, depending on who the instructor is.
Every person I've heard say that is fat.
I too can shoot a 6-inch target at 15 yards.
The only acceptable statement to come after I'm a lifetime NRA member is because the range I go to makes me do it. Otherwise, I hate the NRA. Because that is a common thing.
I was gifted a membership.
They sold us out.
So I'm not a lifetime member, but I am a certified NRA pistol instructor. And it's solely because at one point, prior to starting Meteorite Concepts and doing the product thing, I wanted to do the training side of things. And if you're going to get insurance, you have to have some kind of certification like that.
Right. So it's kind of like a CYA type thing.
Yeah. There's never a reason to brag about having that. But if you want to get insurance, you basically need it.
A lot of local law enforcement agencies will end up having that as a prerequisite for the firearms instructor position as well.
Well, I think it's also used as like a scam almost, because what a lot of these big stores will do, they'll be like, hey, we're offering a local class by a certified NRA instructor where you get to go and you can, especially if there's a state that has like a concealed carry requirement, right? Like a lot of states have been, you can go to this class put on by this NRA certified instructor, and then you get your little piece of paper that means you can get your concealed carry, or you can get the special perk or whatever it might be. And you go to this little thing where it's essentially nothing. It's like you paid $50 to go sit in a class for a little while, or to shoot like a little bit, and to get instructed by some boomer who collects a paycheck every month by putting on these classes for whatever store it might be.
I love what Fresh Pinochet said, because he said at least the NRA certs cover the 4 basic rules. It's actually 3 rules now. They changed it.
The first rule is to have
fun.
And
they changed it from never statements, how it used to be. They changed it to always statements.
Yeah.
So now it's like always, and it's very confusing. So it's fun to joke around, you know.
Yeah, interesting. The Jeff Cooper's 4 rules of firearm safety. Now it's like what? Like always keep the firearm safe when not used. Always keep the firearm cased when not in use, and always pointed in a safe direction, or something to that effect.
No, they're a little different than that, but I don't want to think about it. I have PTSD from the NRA classes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like USPSA in a way. Like the organization's like gay, but they're the ones who put on everything. So where else are you gonna go? And so when the NRA certification was quite literally it for like 30 years, you know, they have that reputation, I guess, but it just doesn't mean anything.
You really have to just fake the funk if you want.
The real second rule of gun safety is to
I felt that on the drive home,
dude.
It is true though what James it was James saying that, like, as far as if you're doing something you need to have insurance, it is something that helps with that. Some places want you to do that in order to it's a CYA situation.
Yeah, it's just table stakes when you're talking to anyone who's like outside the gun community.
I'd rather say I'm a master at USPSA, like someone here on the panel can.
That's me.
That is you. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man.
I thought for that hop statement, I thought it's like the new SIG P320 manual.
Yeah, it's funny because they used to have a pretty based manual, right, where they don't recommend not carrying around in the chamber, but then sometime in the last 6 months to now, they changed it to like, hey, you should never carry this around in the chamber. And I get that most gun manufacturers not named Glock have that, but it's just funny that they changed it.
Such is life. Legalese has destroyed most of society.
Yeah, it's all contracts and papers.
Mm-hmm.
Much less exciting. All right, here's one that some people on the panel can associate with. It is, I did X in the military. Therefore, listen to me.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, I was a diesel generator fueler in Iraq. You should listen to me. Oh, I was a sergeant first class, and I'm a drill instructor, a drill sergeant instructor. You should listen to me.
Excuse me, sir. I have pedigree. You have to listen to me, fucking civvy.
I was in the army for 4 years, so let me teach you how to shoot. And it's like, my brother in Christ, I was too. I don't care.
And it just turns into a pedigree pissing match of like, oh, I was in Iraq as a diesel fueler, or I was in Afghanistan as a cook. Oh, I was in Afghanistan and Iraq as a helicopter mechanic, and then I pulled a gun out and no cops in middle school. Got shot.
Yeah.
This makes me think of like
basic training. Listen to me.
This makes me think of that saying, like every Marine's a rifleman. And then you go to the range and see like a 5-foot Latina, the full size M16. Just, yeah.
Or Chris, that currently FBI's most wanted, where among his group, 30 shots on 3 targets, one non-fatal hit,
a singular hit.
Yeah. And the ringleader of that was in the Marine Corps.
Well, do you guys remember? I think it was in one of the military propaganda videos that we took a look at a while ago. They were showing off Marines shooting the 320 or something like that, and like you could tell in their hands, hard to get out on camera, but that the recoil was like their right hand was coming out of the grip the entire time as it was recoiling, like, or some of them were teacupping, and it's like this is not the promotional video that you think this is. No. Please don't be doing this.
Or that one
a lot of dudes who have a limited time in the service, they know if they were combat arms, they probably know whatever their specific job was, how to be homeless, and maybe a little bit about maneuver. And so there's a lot of people, if they try to lean on that stuff, it's really obnoxious. It's like, it goes back to don't try to be something that you're not, and it's don't try to speak on things that you don't know about, or just because you carried a gun for a while and you learned some military stuff doesn't mean you're the be all end all. Doesn't mean these people have invalid things to say sometimes, but people definitely do lean on it too much. And then there's a lot of, well, I went to Afghanistan. Oh, what'd you do? Oh yeah, I was a wheel mechanic. It's like, great, okay, cool. That doesn't help me.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, unless you're a tier 1 operator.
I was a truck driver in Iraq.
Yeah, 88, Mike. But I mean, those guys did take real fire, so I feel bad for those guys.
Yeah, I was one of my good friends, a mentor really, once said, all veterans are gay. He's a veteran, and I just kind of live by that. So whenever a veteran talks to me about anything from a place of authority, I just completely disregard and walk away.
If I've learned anything from vet bros, it's that I need to smoke cigars, get on TRT and invest in crypto or something like that. Yeah,
I love cigarettes.
Also,
I mean, a lot of the military experience doesn't seem to apply to civilian firearms ownership. Like, maybe a red hat firearms instructor in the Air Force, maybe, but other than that, or weapons sergeant in special forces, but other than that, not really.
For real, like I was an armor for 4 years. That doesn't mean I know everything about the aftermarket for ARs, right? I'm clueless on that shit.
Or anything else not pertinent to your job, right?
Exactly.
So you might be hyper focused on that one discipline, but everything else is like, I didn't touch this in the military. I have no idea. My experience doesn't translate, right?
But low power
I think
never existed.
There are lots of which again, it's like, thank you for your service, but there's a lot of vets that rely on their service to milk money out of civilians for like training classes and stuff like that. And I'm sure we've all seen, if not attended, or been talked to by people who are claiming to help us out or to give us good advice, whether or not we asked for it, who may or may not have given us good advice. Like, I remember being at a FUD range and just talking to somebody about how like ARs weren't good past 25 yards. And I was like shooting at 300 yards as we were talking. And I was like, just sitting there like, all right, bro, whatever, dude. It's like, maybe if you weren't hung up on the M14 getting phased out when you were in the service, but Kitty stream now.
Yep, it's Tango. That's Hops and I's Discord is just sending pictures of Tango and Sacco back and forth.
Oh, fella.
Hey, James. Oh, sorry. James, are you drinking a martini right now?
Yeah, it looks like a margarita.
We were
or
talking about
something.
olives, and I was like, man, I really want a martini with
You're
olives.
like, damn, that sounds good. Lost Arrow, what do you think about veterans saying, hey, I did X in the military, therefore respect my opinion?
Ooh. Take away VA disability for all veterans. They don't deserve shit.
They'll be destitute.
I'll say
No, don't take away
veterans,
my knee
veterans, not a fan of them.
Wait, what's your monthly disability check?
2,000, I'm gonna say.
That's not much.
What are you?
Shout out, fucked up back. The spine will never get fixed.
Hey, Lost, you're
Got,
welcome.
Like 22. Pretty decent.
Hey, listen, if my tax money has to go to somebody, it might as well go to angry veterans rather than, I don't know, Nicaraguan immigrants in Section 8 housing or something, you know?
So true.
Pakistani gender studies.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I mean, there are better uses of our money.
USA money to New York City. What?
Yeah. I need trans rights in Botswana now, please.
I think what we should do is just reactivate every veteran to go to Ukraine and Israel. That's what we should do.
I just take military-aged men who like just say, "Oh, we got to go do something with Ukraine." Just send them over there.
Send all men, draft all women. The children will come next. I promise.
If you just send the women, the men will follow.
Or if we just let them take home war trophies.
That's real.
Yeah.
Privatize it to Coinbase. Have it be sponsored by Coinbase.
Military parade sponsored by Bitcoin. There we go.
Do it like
War
they did
brought to you
in
by McDonald's.
what was
That's
the movie with Stone Cold Steve Austin where they took prisoners and dumped them on an island and then monetized the fights to the death, and they streamed it live. What was that?
That's called PUBG streaming on Twitch.
That sounds like a fever dream.
Are you talking about Fish Tank?
No, this was fucking wow. What was it? I'll think of it
The
later.
Stone Cold Steve Austin movie, I can think of like 2 off the top of my head. And they're both B movies, so I'm sure it was not the greatest quality of all time. All right, next statement. I don't think we did this one. Buy the cheap stuff before you know what you want. So you buy something like, I don't know, if you're first time buying an AR, you buy a cheap one to see if you like it, but then you buy the cheap one that sucks and then you end up not liking the thing. I do see this a lot with LPVOs specifically. People buy something like really inexpensive to like get their toes wet in the LPVO game or whatever it might be, Prism or something else like that. And then they're like, I'm just going to write off all of those because I had this one bad experience because I went with a subpar quality one to start with.
Buy
I would
Savage
take
access
this
to
statement-
pre-game of Weatherby.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, James.
Oh, I was just saying, I would take this over buy once, cry once for first-time buyers. If I'm talking to a friend who's looking to like, hey, I finally saved up my money. I'm ready to buy an AR. It's my first gun. So they're, we're already talking to a low information buyer. If they'll take my advice, then I might just kind of build out something for them that I think is reasonably good. But if they're just kind of like doing their own thing and I only have a couple minutes, I would, if I had to choose one or the other, go with buy once, cry once, or buy cheap and figure out what you want. I'd say buy cheap and figure out what you want because you don't know what you want when you're getting into it at first. And if you just blow out your budget, you're going to get a lot of stuff.
I can agree with that to a little bit, but let's say I'm talking to somebody that I'm not in the same physical location as they are, so I can't just show them things, right? So let's say I'm trying to tell Bucky like what he needs to get for XYZ. If he has access to a local gun store or a local range, I would recommend him like you could just go in there and check out any optic you want. You can grab any gun and play around with it. So, and if they have a rental range, you can also rent items to try and see if you like it beforehand rather than just buying something. So I think that there's ways to get good hands-on information. Like somebody in the chat said, oh yeah, Hop brings up the NX8 being the worst of both worlds, being that it's expensive and not very good. So that's a killer. Don't buy that one. That's you think it's the good one because it has the Night Force name on it, but then you're like, oh wait. So if you go if you go into a store or whatnot to check out like different colored red dots, like do I want red or do I want green? Well, you don't need to buy a cheap green one to see if you like it. You can just walk into the store and be like, hey, can I see that? And they'll show it to you, right? So I think that there's ways to get hands-on information with very little financial input.
The exception I would say is like for equipment, for the most part, holsters maybe not so much, but military surplus equipment. So like a $40 or $50 FLC or TAPS rig instead of the $250 hype beast belt kit or whatever, $400 jumbo
Hey,
rig.
T-Rex Arms sells a $300 TAPS rig or trap. They call it the trap rig, I think.
I'm
sure it's good quality.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. It's kind of like it's what got 4 pouches, I want to say, on it. 4 sewn in pouches.
Well, Chris, have you used the T-Rex Arms trap rig?
No, I've seen Brock use it a time or two, and he liked it. So, but I think he recommended the TAPS over it just for price wise.
Talk about T-Rex arms and traps. That checks out.
Yeah, it is funny that they called it the trap rig.
Yeah.
The T-Rex Arms modular something or else.
Or if you don't know what to buy, you can look at Hop's channel or Brass Facts site. They do good info on shit.
Ooh, shoot.
Well, I created
yeah, so I think that there are places where you can get into the game for cheaper, for sure. Though I am wary of that again because I don't want to scare people off from certain types of firearms. Like, so for instance, if you go and you buy a TSIS 1911 or 2011 style gun, you're like, oh, this has all these malfunctions. I'm never gonna touch it. I'm never gonna touch one of these again. These suck. It was like, well, I mean, you bought the Turkish import version of that, even if it's like a shotgun too or something like that. So,
2 things. The Turkish 1911s are okay at best. I mean, get them for $500. You're not going to cry too hard. 2, the NX8 is only worth it if you're a veteran because unironically, you get 40% off MSRP, which is just a great deal for an NX8.
Yeah.
But that's only really for vets, I think.
Yeah, like for professionals, NX8s are like 1,300, which is really
I mean, that's
good.
still PLXC price. I'd rather get a PLXC for that money.
I don't know. I'd rather get the NX8. I like the NX8. I don't know where all this hate came from because like the 1X glass clarity is pretty nice.
It's the fisheye effect, bro. It looks terrible. Like looking through them side by side, that and the ATACR, I'm like, one of these looks like quality and the other one doesn't.
Attacker.
No, obviously the ATACR is $3,000, but
yeah, I was gonna say you're comparing an ATACR to an NX8. That ATACR is fucking expensive and heavy.
Grow stronger.
Yeah, lift weights.
Yeah,
that is ironic coming from you, Hawkeye.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Middle arm person on this podcast.
Hey, you left up a 5-pound AK, get fucked.
I mean, there are always exceptions. For example, like Glocks that are found for $350 or so, for $350, $375 secondhand.
There's always exceptions.
Police trade-in like RAs or Colts or Bushmasters.
Just throw away your LPVO, man. No one likes them. Get an ACOG.
Where's the ACOG?
They're so
I think we
good.
should all dogpile on Hawkeye now.
Yeah, this is the Hawkeye hate stream. This is where we're at, bros. This is the green ACSS version, which is like really hard to find. But mine, my eyes don't work with the 4X ACOG, so that's lame. Like the reticle's always fuzzy to me. Because hey, congratulations, there's no diopter on these things.
Nope.
I know. I picked up the Steiner, was the P4X or whatever for 500, and I love the hell out of that. That is fantastic.
Ethiopian Gandalf, that's so good.
Yeah, you heard me, your favorite friend. That's what I said.
I didn't know that they made a green reticle version for the ACOG. That's so weird. I've only known the red.
They also
this is the primary arms combo where they did the ACSS version of the reticle, so it has like the horseshoe plus the wind holds plus the ranging brackets. This is like the hard one to find.
Yeah, to get a proper eye relief or whatever it's called, you have to do like the 2-finger salute between your eyebrow and the optic. I didn't realize that's how magnifiers were too I was like, damn, I got to get close to this rifle to really.
Oh yeah, so unironically, sometimes the primary arms micro ACOGs are actually a little bit more usable for like 1/3 the cost.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
It's just as good.
Yeah.
So what are we
Just
hating
as
on
good.
tonight? I saw that this is a
Well,
hating stream.
bro, we went through like the 10 statements. We're basically done. I mean, I got
think
2A
there's one
for
more.
all. Which one's that?
Modularity.
Go on.
Elaborate. Frame this into
is
a
it-
sentence that we can make fun of.
Well, the community selling everything as modularity.
Oh, I hate that shit. Yeah, 6
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
Everything is
E320 is a-
modular.
Yeah, good point.
Modular
That's just
handgun
game.
system. The M17 modular handgun system.
The modular
trials.
rail system. Every
Well,
rail
what
is
about
modular
AR-15s
because it
being
has
modular?
holes.
Just switch out your uppers. I don't know
Shut your
anybody
mouth, Orca.
with one lower and 5
The
uppers.
upper is a
no,
module.
That's not modularity. That's their takedown system, right? So
Yeah.
that's how you take it down. It's not designed as modularity. That's designed as like that's.
I didn't know you could do that with AKs, Hawkeye. Can you?
No, you can't because
Yeah,
AKs
so
are
shut your fucking
from the
mouth.
1940s.
Modularity
course
is
we
not a
can't do that.
word. Modularity is not a word in the Russian language.
No, but I do
Doesn't
think
exist.
SIG actually does basically is the culmination of this modularity. It's like, hey, we have the modular rail and barrel systems. Do either of those things hold 0? No. We have modular handguns. Do they go off on their own? Yes. It's like, well, they're modular though. Isn't that like better or something?
We
Like, I
have a
don't know.
modular bolt action rifle. The Cross.
With an auto trigger.
Well,
Or
okay, even with
auto
the
bullet.
modular pistol, how much is the frame, and then how much is the slide and the barrel? And at that point, you just buy another fucking gun.
It's true.
I think
reason-
this has been a myth for since the ACR came out with its modularity where it could
Yeah.
quick swap barrels. And I know because I'm a retard who bought all the barrels for it. Right. And it's a meme. You're out there, you're like, wait, I'm never actually going to use this feature. I just set it up as I want it, and then I would never need the quick swap. Speaking of
You know
this
what's my
is
least
silly.
my least favorite modular feature is when guns are made so that you can swap things to be left hand usable, I guess. And I just hate that. I think lefties need to learn how to shoot right-handed. Because lefties are inferior. You're 11% of the population. But
Yeah, modular
like-
gotta re-zero. Yeah, true.
yeah, we
like-
don't need that.
Be like Brock and learn to shoot left-handed.
Exactly.
The L85 is the greatest service rifle of all time.
I hate that fucking gun so much. I got to shoot it, and I was like, this gun fucking sucks. This is the worst rifle ever. It is
5.56
genuinely
rifle,
a
but-
very bad rifle that they made into a service gun. Like,
Even H&K couldn't fix
And
it.
that's why they went over to ARs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're shooting H&K 416s now. And
all
Knights,
roads,
too.
all roads lead to the AR-15.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing too. It's like the military also self-induces a lot of their own problems because they have all these requirements for the spear, right? So it needs to have dual charging systems. It needs to be completely ambidextrous. We need to have modularity when it comes to the rails because in the future we might want a powered rail, right? It's like, okay, well, we can make all of those things, but there's going to be teething issues for the next decade until we figure it out because it's brand new cutting edge technology that still doesn't work, right? I mean, their X157 optics program is worse than the SIG Spear. It is a complete failure in every regard. The one report that came out last year about its potential to complete a 72-hour mission was essentially 0.
What is that optic system? Isn't it like electronic too?
So it is everything. So the XM157 is a ballistics calculator, rangefinder, and a 1 to 10 LPVO slapped into a singular box with Bluetooth connectivity to other people around, so we can send and receive information.
Yo, so
the
someone's
problem
about to be
is
blasting
that they could
Spotify
never
on their
get
scope?
the connectivity down because you can easily jam it to where it stops working in general, right? And then it causes you have battery issues, which is why they wanted to run to a powered rail system. So you have power within the actual rail itself, so you can power your onboard electronics. In a way, it's kind of like the Halo system, right? If you reuse the old video games, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Does it work in reality on a rifle that kicks harder than a 308? Not particularly, and
Not
keep in
yet.
mind that it's over 2 pounds on a 11-pound rifle to begin with. So yeah, and I mean we're talking about something that has to always be on an LPVO, right? So it's ranging, it's doing all of this stuff at the same time. The amount of power required to do that, battery technology hasn't expanded to where we've like doubled the density, right, of what these batteries can hold. You essentially just have to shove more batteries into it, which is why they wanted to go with a powered rail, so that you could integrate things directly into the rail and it would actually transmit power from the battery pack to whatever you put onto the rail.
A battery pack?
Be a battery pack.
Damn it, I lost my audio again. You guys will have to entertain the stream because I can't hear you guys. So I'll be back.
Okay. Does anybody know how many batteries this fucking thing takes? Because it takes Bluetooth, ballistic calculator, all the fucking doodads that, like, let's be honest, probably don't fucking work. This already sounds
I don't think we should talk about batteries. Too much drama involved.
No, they're not in here. We're okay.
Cool
Chad
story,
doesn't know what
bro.
the fuck we're
Just
talking
run
about.
thermals. Give me thermal. Like, hey, here's a thermal optic, and we have a battery pack shoved in your butt stock, so the weight's not going to fuck your hand up. Here you go.
Do you know how much that
it's a fucking cheat
optic
code.
is? We don't
It's
know how
probably
much
a
that
lot.
optic is, do we?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to game how much it probably could be military contract wise, and it's just like, holy fuck, that just sounds the XM7 program just sounds so fucking expensive per rifle. Because what the 6.8 the 6.8 is already probably what $4,000 a pop, and then that optic minimum is probably $2,000 to $3,000 minimum. And then all the doodads on there, fucking, you got to probably toss on. No, they're gonna toss on a salty pack. They don't give a fuck.
Well, Arrow, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen with it. We're going to adopt the M7. Everyone's going to carry it and go, well, the whiz-bang cartridge is great. I have no fucking ammo in firefights. We're going to have it adopted for about 2 years, get rid of it, and go, we should go with something lightweight. And then a couple years later, go, wow, it's a good cartridge, and we'll have them as DMRs then. That's it.
Right.
Same as the M14.
Exactly what the M14 did. Bucky, you had a question?
Yeah, no, I got like for FUDism before I get to the 2A for all, that competition is the only way to evaluate firearms, equipment, and shooting performance. That's something.
Yeah, that's like modern FUD lore. I think that's what the autonomous defense guy was arguing for before I removed him from the internet accidentally. Yeah, so I mean, I think people get hyper focused into their specific lane, and then they say, well, actually, this is the only way to valuably provide information is the way that I do it. And it's like, well, I mean, so when it comes to like doing the YouTube thing and providing people with useful information, I've learned a lot from people who are, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. I've learned a lot from people who were not good shooters whatsoever, but just relayed accurate information. Like, so for instance, when the Desert Tech MDR or the Wolverine was coming out and I wanted to pick up a 6.5 Creed variation, and he was showing the finish just falling off of the barrel from the factory. I'm like, oh, well, that's pertinent information for me to know before I spend $2,500. Thank you for that, sir. I didn't need him to. I think they're $2.5K. Yeah.
I didn't even know Desert Tech was still around. I thought they like when they got hacked. I thought they like lost everything. They're like, hey, we got to close up shop. It's over, boys.
they lost
literally
a lot.
They cut every employee except for their family and like immediate like close people, and they're like, sorry guys, we lost everything. That's
we have a couple people in the chat currently who have funny stories about some companies in Utah, let's say, but that's going to come out at a future point in time. I think that'll be its own dedicated topic.
Like, I think if you want to test your system overall, like your pack, your LB, like whatever the fuck you're doing, go to Airsoft. You want to test your shit, go run around the woods, try using it and see what fucking sucks and then change it. Competitions are really good to kind of just show where you are with your training at the range, right? It's like a quantifiable thing. Okay, this is what I need to work on. This is working. This is what it isn't working. But like if you have like a full set of gear and kit, Airsoft is kind of the only place that you're ever actually going to be using all your ancillary shit. So I think I do think Airsoft is a good training aid for some things, and that's one of it.
I mean, you don't even need Airsoft for most of it. The biggest thing when it comes to your kit is, will it stay on your person when you're running around? So you can just go to a field and do a workout in your gear and check that out. And that's like the biggest thing that people realize in competition or even in airsoft is, hey, my stuff is falling off of me. And you can get all that stuff foolproofed just
like a really
workouts.
Like for competition.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to just using the thing, right? Now, when it comes to like specifically gun and performance related elements of the gun, I think that competition shooters have the best argument for why something might be good or bad from a performance standpoint, right? When it comes to just the actual like shooting performance, durability, especially if they're a super high round count shooter, I think they might have an edge there, but that isn't the end all be all, right? Because usually it's in a pretty controlled environment. It's not going to be seeing any hard conditions. You're not going to be hiking around with the thing. So weight comes into play when you're actually using the thing out and about. If you're doing like an 8-hour, day in the woods with your buddies or a multi-day thing in the woods with your buddies, I think that there's other factors to consider. So I think that competition is useful for things, but it's just one facet.
Yeah, I think like the newer style of
full circle. Go to Ukraine with your gear, boys. Test it out.
Like the Delta 34 Ridge Racer competition and two-gun action, I think, is something I prefer more just because it requires the use of awkward positions, unorthodox ways to do things, and weird stuff thrown into things rather than just something sterile like Pixel.
Yeah, I mean, Wagner Group is hiring. If you want to make, I think it's 110 grand for 3 months, so you can go to Haiti in the next few weeks.
I thought that was Blackwater.
Well, that is put on by Blackwater. It's Lord Miles is running that operation.
Okay. Shout out
so
Lord Miles.
that is Operation Retake. So that'll be fun.
I love that shit. Fucking, let's go die in fucking Haiti for 120 grand a year.
No, you're going to be running drones in Haiti. You're going to be living in a palace while you bomb poor people eating each other.
I think a good way
hellhole that you live in.
I think a good way to summarize the gear testing thing is you don't need to test your gear. It just needs to look cool. Nobody cares.
That's
Thank
also
Cool.
valid.
No one-
Yes,
all
No one
that
shoots
matters
cool
is you wear multicam black everything with a black plate carrier and helmet, and you look cool. And just take pictures of him when he's
I really thought about this. Somebody posted this meme, and it was like, I would do CQB, but what if the other team cry JPC's harder than me?
I
What
love
if they
that
out-
meme.
Yeah.
The best answer for CQB is the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Monty Python had it right.
Well, wasn't that like World War II doctrine where there's like, hey, throw a grenade in the room, and when it goes off, get on all fours and get your like handgun or a Thompson and just shoot whatever is still alive. I'm pretty sure that was like
I need to see that in writing.
I don't think
It
that was
sounds like
actually
Footloose.
doctrine. That
Sounds
was no. I know what he's referring to.
Yeah, it was like
and,
the
it was a real
101
thing.
Yeah, it was the 101 airborne guy that had the mohawk.
Yeah, it.
Like
I
the
don't
dirty
remember
dozen
mentioning
or
it in
dirty
Bad
dozen
but
unit.
it is a thing.
I mean,
Is this
I
like-
like the Israeli version of clearing a room. Just use a PKM.
It's a method.
Yeah, nothing is surviving. a
Bro,
fucking
yeah,
PKM.
I like the IDF method.
Israeli CQB footage where they just go through with Viz red lasers and shoot at shadows. Mega.
Yeah, nothing a 30
Oh,
caliber Negev in through the
fucking-
doorway, or just simply artillery or using airstrikes on the structure.
I want everybody to know that Subarctic Psycho is right. Marpat camo is the best camo. Y'all should get the fuck over it.
Woodland, man.
Now, Starry Sky is the
Marpat
best.
Woodland, bro. Marpat Woodland. Dude, that Chinese uniform it's so disgusting, dude. What is this supposed to be?
I don't know.
Fine,
Yeah,
confirmed.
CQB. If you're into
Yeah.
CQB training because you like to practice your footwork around other men, I mean, it does sound a little sus. All right, gentlemen. Last topic of the night before we get on out of here. 2A for all. I think this is lauded in a lot of spaces that may or may not be left leaning, and it's a little bit subversive because I don't actually believe that they mean it, considering that they consider people maybe right of center, Nazis and fascists, and will actively tell you that these people should be killed, punched, and pushed out of society. So I don't know if the people using that term actually believe it. I think it's a bit of a smokescreen.
Yeah, you could say 2A for all people, but what do you mean by people?
What kind of
Bonkers.
people are you?
What is all? What is all?
I'm just saying.
That's
Yeah, Shadow Force sums it up. 2A for all. That agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm going to campaign for people who don't agree with me to lose their gun rights, because I feel like that's a good way for me to lose my gun rights, but I'm definitely not going to help them, and I'm not going to talk to them about things, and I'm not going to
Well, it's like,
support
do
it.
you have a responsibility to arm and improve your ideological enemies?
No,
No,
not at all.
I mean,
Nor do I want to be
I mean-
associated with a figurehead that is absolutely deranged that exclusively uses it and forces it on people.
I mean, would you
Focus
want
on
someone
everything
with the
TV.
certifiable mental disorder having guns?
Yes,
yes,
all of them.
Well, we got to be very
Every
careful with that,
single one.
because I'm going to tell you that your hate crime thoughts in your head, those are mental illnesses. Therefore,
Yeah.
I'm going to take your guns away. So you do have to be incredibly careful with what
Or
power is
veterans
being
I mean,
with
like in
used.
the
Or-
last stream, like in the last stream with SRA members, like one of them says, "Oh, like anyone who cannot pass a 4473 shouldn't have guns," and his buddy goes and takes a bong rip while freaking out with questions.
Yeah. Also, the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
fun thing about the mental fitness thing, it's like, oh, are you a veteran? Do you have any kind of a post-traumatic stress or any kind of diagnosis like that? Sorry, you
That's
can't
why
have
you
a
want
gun
a
anymore.
TBI, not PSD.
Well, right. You run
Yeah.
back to red flag laws when that sort of thing happens, where people can just basically with a court order take away your rights without a hearing, without a trial, nothing.
But for
You
me, I
let
don't
everybody
support-
get full auto. Just repeal every fucking gun law, and then within a year or two, the herd will thin itself out.
We'll figure it out.
But for me, for anyone who have stated that they want to use violence against me and want to directly destroy the Second Amendment and only want to acquire weapons to facilitate that, that's what I don't like about the 2A for all.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good point, because I think they're using your kindness, they're using the 2A for all as a weapon against you. It is a knife in your back, essentially. It's they don't mean it, right? It is a tool for them. It is a means to power. Once they have acquired that power, it is no longer necessary.
It basically puts it into a us versus them category, where anyone who is outside of us is automatically an enemy, or a a legacy gun tubing channel. Is that how it's phrased?
Yeah, what did they call it? Like, aren't all legacy gun tubes like fascist affiliated or something like
or
that?
if you don't say anything, I
fascists.
assume you're chicken shit for not explicitly saying the thing I want you to say and forcing you
Well,
to say.
and when you boil it down, like you said with that SRA meeting that we had with those gentlemen, where they said, "Oh yeah, we're very accepting of everybody," and then I asked, like, "What about a generic conservative?" And they said, "No, like a generic conservative is too far right to be acceptable."
And I think that really does fall into that sort of political leanings idea of ideological purity. They have very little when it comes to actual identity, so they focus on, theory and ideology over anything else.
Yeah, and that's when I was looking at, say, groups like the Doll Squad, for example. They're so exclusive, and then they started getting even more and more extreme that they started like 41% of members got either kicked out or left or got ejected from the group every month until the group disintegrated and went underground.
You said 41%.
You say
41%.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know that
like,
that aligns with.
well,
like,
so that is the feedback loop. That is the purity death spiral, right? Where without rigid adherence to their doctrine, to their inverted theology, right, you get kicked out.
Abide by the cult or get removed.
Yeah, I say the Second Amendment should only exist for normal people, and then
Well,
I'm okay with.
if you go back to the founding fathers, they specifically say that the Constitution was written for people of good moral character.
Yeah,
And
but
without the people, the words on a piece of paper aren't going to help you.
here's
Does
my
that exclude
exemption
Grand
though.
Thumb?
My exemption is that we can put as many blickies into circulation in the hood as we want, and I think that's fine.
It'll sort itself out.
That Saturday Night Live sketch where the guy's like, "Hey, what's the second most important issue of our democracy?" It's like guns.
Yes.
We don't play. Let me see if I can find that real fast. What the heck was that?
Saturday
That's
Night Live
my-
hasn't been funny since Norm
That
Macdonald
was
was
my
on
phone.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like Saturday Night Live scrambles to try to get the SNL tag from Sam Hyde on Instagram.
I'm looking for one specific thing on here. Did you guys? Oh, here it is. I found it. I don't know. Did you mention the Grantham thing, Lost Air, or am I hearing things
Oh
again?
yeah. When you said good moral character, I was like, so is Grantham excluded? But
Oh,
fucking
I thought you were talking
homeboy
about
right
his
here
APAC
had
tweet.
to interrupt me. Oh,
sorry.
he made
Yeah.
an APAC tweet.
Well, yeah, I mean, not directly, but I mean, here, let me show you this. So I don't know. There are some vets on the panel, so maybe this would be interesting for you guys to opine on. But essentially, here's the statement, and I've heard this before from multiple people. So I've heard the sentiment, "Don't join the military," echoed loudly in the world. I'm a believer in the United States of America. I believe in the soul of what we are, though lost we may be. I believe that now more than ever, we need righteous and courageous young men in the military to begin righting the ship, to serve with clarity and boldness. I understand the counter arguments. I understand the loss of faith and leadership in the government and fighting for a good cause, the foreign interference. Every day it feels like we teeter closer to the edge. But I know one thing for certain: without a military bolstered by our brightest and boldest, our country will collapse. Without a military, our country crumbles. Now, my counterpoint to that, which I think is kind of the normal prevailing theory, is that your brightest and best should not sacrifice their bodies and their minds for protecting a satanic pedophile cult at the top. I think that is a bad use of your best life. Instead, you should be building families and communities and not dedicating your life to the will of evil people.
Well, the military shouldn't be just used to inflate Halliburton's stock price or to be used to prop up a incompetent and incredibly corrupt government and then just pull out, and then that leadership would just flee the country with a helicopter full of cash.
Yeah. I didn't join the
True.
army
I think
to die for
Moonman makes
Benjamin
a great point.
Netanyahu, and I certainly didn't die just to go and fuck with somebody in Iran or whatever other part of the sandbox.
Kind of
Yeah, like Moonman makes a great point. Why would I die for people that actively hate me? When Biden fucking got in office, I was like, my time's up.
I mean,
These people
down
fucking
to
hate
No
me.
Iranian ever called me incel.
I mean, down to like, I mean, you can go down to like lower leadership, like an incompetent first sergeant.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that the reason why we've seen a disillusionment in the American dream or Americana, if you want to see it, is we've had so many people come back from foreign wars over the last 2-3 decades and realize that they fought for nothing, that their buddies, like some people lost friends, horrific injuries, whatever it might be. And then they're like, for what? So Halliburton could double their stock price. So, General Dynamics could win a new contract.
I mean,
my
stateside,
family was affected by my brother signed up the day after 9/11. He was 17 years old. So we had to get my mom and my dad crying to sign off on his enlistment for the Marines, right? And he goes there, he does a couple tours and loses people. And it's like, you think about that now, and it's like he gave away the best years of his life for what he thought at the time was a good moral cause, right?
I mean, like it's stateside in Garrison. At my first duty assignment, I'd be on lunch break, bring a colleague of mine. Both of us are in uniform. We go to a nearby Chick-fil-A at a nearby mall. I was standing in line waiting for my food, and someone vandalizes my car. Not a government vehicle, my own car. In America.
That's ass. Yeah.
Like if I go to foreign countries and the people, the citizenry of that country treats me, a foreigner, better, it's deplorable. And why would I want these people who in America that want to like treat me like garbage? Why would I care about them if, like, say, PLA paratroopers do a Red Dawn or something?
I want off this timeline, guys. This timeline sucks.
Well, and people frame it as if like, oh, America's going to fall if our best and brightest don't join the military. No. And again, I just don't see a correlation between joining the military and our current political issues aren't going to be resolved by boosting the, our recruitment numbers or something like that.
Vote harder, guys.
Well, especially if it takes the best and brightest out of the gene pool.
Yep.
Like that's another thing where it's like that's just straight up bad. Like that's the opposite of what you want. You might want a large military during an active wartime, but Right now, it serves the opposite of the purpose that you want to fix.
It's kind of funny. The like Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, his son actually was a member of MACV-SOG in the Vietnam War. He got killed, and then his daughter became the heir, and she just spent millions of dollars for a No Kings protest ad, and is now doing all sorts of weird stuff with Walmart money.
I miss Teddy Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, he's so right. Fucking, if you're smart, don't join the military, man. Find a way to scam people when you get out of college or some shit.
And if you want the
Run a crypto
experience or
scam,
some
you'll
of
have
the
a better
technical
time.
skills or the pedigree, but for firearms instructor, like being a cop would be a better pedigree to like be that.
Someone in the chat put out something pretty relevant. Guys that want to go to war just to experience it, don't give a fuck.
Oh, like the people that are selfishly motivated to do things, right? For like a search for valor or a search for entertainment.
You know, that
write a book about it afterwards.
Yeah, this attempt to go on the personal hero's journey, right? Like the people who sign up knowing that it's all bullshit anyway, but they sign up anyway.
I mean, there is still honor to be had in military service, and it concerns me when you get moral, upstanding people self-selecting out of the military. You know, I would rather have a military that is composed, regardless of who's at the leadership, I would rather have a military that's composed of morally minded, good people.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but there is a sort of zero-sum game here where there is X amount of moral, upstanding people of good character. Would I rather have them in service of their families and community or the behest of the U.S. government? So that's where I would say, like, yes, in an ideal world, I would love the military to be only comprised of the most moral and upstanding, honorable people in the world. But if I only have 50,000 or 50 million of them, however that many might be, right? Do I move them to the control of our federal government, who is going to use them for purposes that I don't agree with? Or should I be like, bros, you guys have to build up your families and your community so that generations from now we can actually fix the problems from the top down, rather than removing these people from the gene pool, essentially, for a short period of time?
I think, what's his name? Peter Darkus. I think he said he has the right idea. Join ICE instead. Serve your community.
Well, yeah,
buddy.
and I think to James' point, I think there are other ways to serve your country that don't involve like direct military service. So whether people say local law enforcement, like people forget the importance of local service.
Yeah.
Like your local city council probably has more effect on your day-to-day life than some politician somewhere 2,000 miles away from you. Right. So I think civil service is very important.
On a personal level, I totally get you got to make the calculation. I guess just if we're talking generally, it comes down to two questions, I guess. Do we need a military as a country? And I think the answer is yes. And then if that's true, then assuming that, would we rather that military be staffed with good people or not good people? I mean, I think it's better if we have some good people serving in the military. And so I think that some people might find that to be their vocation, and serve in an honorable way. I just think, as a general rule, advising everyone not to go into the military is perhaps a little simplistic and reckless.
Like a little too far. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, we should be more expansionist. The world doesn't give us enough credit for not taking over every other fucking shithole country in the world. Look at Russia, right? Russia's made this country. I'm like, nothing happened to them. We're America. Let's take over Europe. They can't fucking govern themselves. Look at their military. It's shit, except for Poland. I like Poland. Everyone else could get fucked.
We have taken them over just economically.
Yeah, but that means we have to inherit London and Paris.
No. Listen, like, hey, Russia, taking over Ukraine's bad, but if you were going to nuke London, Paris, Hamburg, and Germany, we'll give you a pass on that. Those are true grade A shitholes of the world right now.
I got a question for all you gentlemen. What's your take on the phrase "service guarantees citizenship"?
Well,
I
from
like the
a
movie.
theoretical,
The movie
from
is
a
good.
theoretical based future in which we all live in, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Now, to be clear, I don't believe in full franchise democracy. So, I mean, and neither did the founding fathers. I think full franchise democracy always leads to where we are now.
Agreed.
Just
Pure democracy.
Now
outcomes.
what entitles you to being a franchisee can depend. Some would say military service, some would say family, land ownership, social standing,
Having children.
of some sort. Having children might be a prerequisite, right? But full franchise democracy, where degenerate retard number 421 has the same vote as productive member of society 624. Probably not the best situation, because all you have to do is import people that vote like you to irrevocably change the country, right? Because once you're no longer the majority, you don't have power anymore. That's how it works. It's democracy, baby.
Yeah, tyranny of the masses.
I love it. So
every
good.
time I see a retard in Walmart, I have to think in the back of my head, they have the same voting rights as I do. And it's depressing.
Well, keep in mind, yeah, that the person subsisting off of your tax dollars has a vote as to where your tax dollars go. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we should just be communists. Like, it's never been successfully tried before. But
goodness.
I really think that we have a good chance of getting it to work.
There's a lot of people on Reddit that agree with you.
True socialism is one guided under the leadership of the Communist Party of China. Just saying. Glory
to Mao Zedong. Glory to
Here's what I say. Here's what I say. We have to kind of ease into it if we're going to change anything. So I think we can maybe come up with some kind of like 3/5 compromise. Does that sound?
That's not right. Luna Goldstein says, "Has any of you graduated college? I have a degree in economics." So yeah.
Who cares, Luna Goldstein?
Chuck. He probably has a degree in banking.
He caught it. It's the
you got
balaclava,
it.
man. He caught it. It's the balaclava. He's like, wait a minute, Steen? Excuse me?
I think anyone who uses going to college as some sort of civilian side pedigree is no better than Matt Pranka's own ideology. No offense to him. He's done a bunch of wonderful things. However...
Oh, yeah, by the way, this Goldstein, also someone with a sock account, something else called Raquette, keeps socking and spamming my comment section with complete autism. It's frankly annoying.
Oh, is it that same person, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait. Drop the lore. Hold on. I completely tuned you out.
It's one of those
I made
gamers.
Yeah, I was making a dossier on the Wisconsin John Brown Gun Club and Doll Squad, and then this person gets butthurt about it. So, it keeps spurting out like, oh, what? Oh, they're not Marxists. They're anarchists, even though they follow Marxist dialectics and hate capitalism.
Oh, so a gay apologist. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
a gay apologist. Yeah, modern college is kind of a daycare slash indoctrination center.
It fucking
the problem is that high schools are so freaking lame that you can graduate high school and learn basically nothing. If our high schools were better, we wouldn't need college to be a finishing school. But I feel like, society does need some kind of finishing schools. And I'm not saying that everyone should go to college, but these days, a high school diploma means so little that, it's I don't know. Society just needs these certain sort of metrics of like, have you cleared this much amount of work and education just to be a functioning member of society? And I'm not saying that college is the best option, but high school is just so lame these days. It's hard to know where to draw that line.
Well, you also got to think.
Our colleges used to be premier institutions around the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not so much anymore. Our high schools have fallen since the 1960s, where we were like top 10, and now we're like maybe top 50, still like 47, 48, something like that. So yeah, I think that also when you just cram more people into these institutions, I think it just by necessity has to mean less, right? So if back in the day, 20% of people got college educations, they were high value people, right? Now, if you say 50% of people have college educations, and by proxy, there's 100 million more people, it's like, well, why should I go for this guy versus that guy when all 12 of you have college degrees? It becomes meaningless, and it's almost like a second high school, right? And then getting a master's or getting, a double major or something, that's the new like college standard, right? That's actually what you need.
I mean, it doesn't help that a lot of legacy institutions require the use of a college education, at least an undergraduate one. For example, being an officer in the military, being a warrant officer, certain government contractor positions, for a few.
Well, you also got to think, like, there's the No Child Left Behind policy that I think is still active today, and it's an utter failure. The literacy rate here in America, I think the new numbers came out. I think either it's 40% of people who graduate high school can actually read at a high school level, or it's 40% that can. It's one of those.
Okay, I was going to say,
I
mean, either way, that's disgustingly bad that an 18-year-old is walking around.
Well, look at the
and isn't
graduation.
able to
Look at the
read.
graduation.
I mean, like in university, like now many of them would have a DEI or some sort of diversity course as part of general requisites, and that creates a huge problem, especially for political indoctrination. I got called racial slurs in that class directly towards me by one of the students in the middle of the class.
You were the wrong type of Asian.
Yeah, no, I had a crappy like $8 Alibaba webcam that made me overexposed the camera and made me look white and pale.
You also got to think these colleges, they just see students as ways to siphon money. We work off of a debt economy at this point, and it doesn't help that places like the University of Texas, I went to a place where they were talking about, like, they would take interns at my college to do money management for all the money that they invest into stock portfolios for the university. And I was like, what? And it turns out it's a real fucking thing. Other colleges do this. Like, you got to think, colleges, they have their own stock portfolios that they use excess money that they get from students to invest into. These colleges don't really rely on government that much. They just like getting the government subsidies because they do.
I mean, it doesn't help. Depressing? On that subject about literacy, like I went in university to be asked to like proofread or evaluate another student's paper, and I keep on finding so many like grammar problems, spelling problems, and unironic use of finna in terms of language. It's just baffling. Or the computer illiteracy, where any sort of device that requires like attachments or a keyboard, and then they don't know how to operate it or compose a basic email. It's baffling.
Listen, I remember
AI.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well, just, I remember Kamala Harris saying something about children in the hood not understanding how computers worked or something like that. That was
that's so racist. Like, that's some shit that, like,
one of her many excellent statements throughout her tenure.
What was that one thing that they were talking about? Like, a bunch of white kids in some college were like, well, Black people don't know how to get a driver's license. Voting ID cards are like very racist.
No,
And
that
it's
was
that's racist, brother.
Or
joining
that was the governor
joining
of
USA.
New York. That was the governor of New York that did that.
my.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny,
Or talking point is
honestly.
like
It's a major
join in the
left-wing-
military or join AmeriCorps for like subsidized or scholarship for university is racist.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
I do have a problem with college-educated people encouraging their kids not to go to college as a
How dare
blanket statement. Like, I don't think that college is for everyone, but it still is for many people the best way to get the job that they want. I mean, basically,
Completely
if you have
disagree.
an idea what you want to do, yeah, then college might still be the best option for you. And there are ways to do it relatively affordably. I mean, I went to community college for 2 years, and then I went to an in-state institution. I graduated debt-free, $20,000. And as a business degree, it was relatively easy to obtain. Got a great job coming out of college, and so for me, college was the right option, or at least it worked out pretty well. I understand that the college situation has gotten worse and worse even since I graduated, which is ridiculous. But I just think as a blanket statement, again, just some of these blanket statements can be way too wide sweeping. I think for many people, it still is the best option. I think that, yes, a lot less people should go to college, and the way that we think about college as a society should change.
So in my position, who has young kids, like, I don't foresee a world in which I send my children to college because they're 4 years old right now. So 15 years from now, how bad it's going to be, right? Unless something drastically changes, like, that's not even like a thought in my mind right now, right?
Bro,
The only way that I
AI
see any improvement in colleges is if the colleges are required by law to co-sign on the loan for the student.
Ooh, that'd be
Either
big.
that or cut government-based student loans.
Well, no,
Because,
the government-based student loans and grants would be cut completely, and all student loans would have to be co-signed by the college, meaning if that student does not go through with it, the college is on the hook for the money.
Well,
And
but you
they
see,
are then more
credit
interested.
checking the students would be racist, good sir.
Oh my!
You
There are
don't
other ways
credit
to
check the
achieve,
student.
I don't know. I mean, also you need to get rid of the fact that if you do go bankrupt, you still have to pay the loans back.
That is
Get rid of
pretty
that
cool,
shit.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Bro,
mean
if
another
they
way-
change that, they would default like overnight if like 10 million people just declared bankruptcy.
Once
Good.
again,
Fuck 'em.
shout
It would
out,
crush
Fuck
the
'em.
system.
shout out
Fuck
the
'em.
GI Bill, baby. Shout out the GI Bill.
I mean,
Also,
Yeah.
another
I haven't
approach
even used
to
mine,
approach-
dude.
Another approach to achieve a higher education is just to get your basics done at a community college, and then just do the more specialized stuff in, say, a English language school outside of the United States that isn't overly inflated but still provides good information, has up-to-date international teachers, high quality equipment, like in Bangkok, for example, or in like Spain.
For the money,
Because I mean, it seems like, well, I mean, it seems like most college degrees, you only need it for the first job you get, and then after that, it's just work experience. So, like with me, with what I do,
you can get from your first job. A lot
Yeah.
of places will pay for you to get your college degree in a specialized field or a
they'll
specialized
contract
area.
it, but yeah, they'll pay for your classes.
Yeah.
I think every high school graduate should take a course in SDI. I think we should subsidize. SDI
Actually, I
bags.
totally agree with you. Yeah, totally.
Sexually
Yeah, actually,
transmitted
that
infection.
leads us into our ad spot 2.5 hours into the show. SDI, where you can get a degree in nonsense for the low price of $25,000.
Stealing disabled veterans'
I mean,
income.
you can also you can
Yeah,
buddy. Drink like 12
Bro.
of these, get a 3D printed jig and a cordless drill, and just cut.
literally,
gunsmith
here's what you do.
forward.
If you want your starting gunsmithing, you buy a PSA AK, and that'll teach you everything you'll ever need to know about working on fucking guns.
The fucking
He's right.
GI Bill veterans fucking SDI shit. That's so true though. That shit's so
It
funny.
really is.
Really
I
funny.
have
Go
three friends
go
that
on
did that shit, by the
SDI.
way.
The
They are
SDI
the-
videos on YouTube by students who like submit their like course work.
Yep.
It's like a Rock Island Armory 1911, a Turkish CZ75, a PSA dagger, and AR-15. It's like the highest quality stuff to learn with.
I think that they are the worst cancer going under the name of an educational institution that has ever plagued Arizona.
Pat499 says
I
a
had a
job
stroke
never
reading
asks for
that.
your a
I have a
job
stro-
never asks. You're good. A job never asks for your grades. Just did you go? So I did an aptitude test at one of my first job that I got out of college, and I guess I scored like stupid high on it. So they did actually ask me what my grades were on it, but they hired me on the spot. So I suppose I did all right. 6 hour $4.99. We're gonna wrap it up there and kind of just move through the support. If any gentleman needs to take off, because I realize we've been on for 2.5 hours, feel free to take off, and we'll just shout you out before you get out of here. So thank you to the panel for hanging out for this long. 6 hour $4.99 says, if you add one more person to this panel, ICE is gonna raid you. Quick, somebody else join. Thank you, Sig. Appreciate it, sir. Chuck McGill says, ACOG Master Race, we will grape LPVO users in this chat with a black man pregnant. There's something going on there. All right.
Man.
Calm down, man. Huge ass says, report Hawkeye to ICE. Hey, we got a wizard on the loose. 6 hour for $4.99 says, vote focus off for having so many people on the panel to begin with. Yeah, it's one of those things. But I thought it was a great discussion going through all the
It was way less of a shit show than it was last time.
Yeah. Well, because there's a certain individual who's not on. 6 hour for $4.99 says, Hop is at the 32nd annual Lumberjack Lesbian Convention. Well, I hope you had a good time. He probably just got drunk. I'm pretty sure he's just there for the alcohol.
Did he win a Forester as a prize?
That's the grand prize. Mitchell Black 499 says, kick Hawkeye. Wow, man, the villain of the stream.
To be fair, there were
I didn't do it.
590 votes.
Oh, I know people did want to start banning people, but the conversation was going well, so I was having a good time.
They wanted blood.
Absolute. Yes, they do. Absolute Moonman for 20 says, good enough for government work is the metric I use. Can I past tense villagers fleeing from an airstrike at 200 yards? Does it look cool? And all my friends think I'm a quirked up white boy goated with the sauce. That is government work at its finest. This is our federal informant in the chat who loves to plot regime changes in the Middle East. Thank you, Moonman. Tuss the Third from 199 says, Indiana Hawkeye and the full of dong.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, there it
Fuck
is.
yeah. I love it.
Thank you, Tusk. Mitchell Black 199 says, don't blaspheme my PSA M4A1 lower heretic. Yeah, getting the PSA retro lowers that have the correct markings on it because you're a poor but you want to flex or something. Not that I'm looking down on PSA lowers. I have a couple SBR PSA lowers, okay?
Are they
Thank you,
good?
Mitchell Black. They're fine. They're in spec.
Okay.
Trigger Jump for $4.99 says, why the hate on the Springfield ED? I think you mean XD, but it just auto-corrected for you, or that was already in your phone for some reason. I love mine, just at wondering what people dislikes about them besides being Springfield.
I'm going to assume this person's Croatian.
Or illiterate, one of the 40%.
Hey,
Nope, I think,
fun of Croats. I like them.
I think Springfield ED is the perfect description for it.
The Springfield ED,
What's
yeah.
wrong
that
with
might
it? It's
actually
a
be
good pistol.
So it's like a cheap polymer gun with a backstrap safety, a grip safety for some reason, and a super high bore axis, and
it's pushed off on unsuspecting customers who think it's made in America because Springfield, the oldest name in American firearms, and it's made in Croatia.
Croatia, Illinois.
Remington and Winchester, like they haven't had their own company since forever. Like Remington is the whore of the gun world.
Dead,
Everybody
sir.
fucking had a turn at Remington.
Remember when the Springfield
dead,
911s were made in Brazil, like using Embil forgings?
Brazil is
the old Springfield single stacks. A lot of them used to be made.
Maybe.
Winchester makes a bunch of stuff in Japan.
Yeah. See, the Springfield.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
the Springfield
60s.
XD is based because it's in Resident Evil 4. So I will not hear any more Springfield XD slander.
True. That's fair enough. It's got street cred. Huge ass for 199. Says 2011s are for gays and trans.
You are gay.
Your response to that, Mr. Arrow?
So true. 2011s are for bags. Nobody likes 2011s.
Josh for 5 says, John told me that if this super chat gets 7 upvotes, Spaz Guy will get kicked off the stream. Congratulations. Spaz Guy was kicked before we even started because he never showed up. Yeah, preemptive kicking. That's what we like to do around here. First strike. Huge ass for 499 says, you get what you pay for. Average Springfield M1A owner as the receiver is cracking after each shot. Yeah.
Unironically get a Renko.
Wait, I don't know about that. Are you?
No, Norinco
M1,
M14s are actually pretty nice.
No, I was just joking. It's trying to be an Asian joke, but Thirsty Tree for 5 says the Sky CPX3 pistol, you get less than what you paid for. Yeah. Dude, when I was in college, I owned a Smith & Wesson SD9 VE, which sucked, and a Sky CPX2. Double action only with like a 13-pound pull. Hell yeah. Spencer Miller 103 for 5 says 8. I only have 4. I don't know what that was in reference to, but that is Spencer. He shoots all the local matches with me, and I think we're going to be at the Area 3 Championship.
He was talking about the round count. The round count one.
Hey guys, did Jake go to you or something?
Well, dude, so he was the guy who showed up to one of the rifle matches with a G3. So his reloads for each stage were just hilarious because he only had 20 round mags.
When he went number 2.
Yep, you're right.
I will.
Just because you took your headphones off, we can still hear you.
Your mom's a nice lady, Arrow.
She's wonderful. Chuck McGill 69 for 189 says, I used to like 1911s. Tards and boomers ruined it. Yeah.
Real.
It's one of those things where it was like cool, but now it's like everybody's doing it. So it's just not as fun. Thank you, Chuck McGill. Pat at Safely Strapped for 499 says, Wild Thought, get what you train for. I personally train for when the cops will take my EDC and evidence. I don't know what that means, bro.
Officer, here's my handgun.
Yeah, Yeah,
That's so
remember,
fucking
guys,
fun,
you want to be efficient, okay? When they ask for your wallet and ID, it's all about the draw. You got to be fast when they ask for it, okay? Quick,
Slow is
jerky
smooth,
motions.
smooth is fast.
That's so fucking good.
Denight for $4.99 says absolutely nothing, throws it at the guests, backs out of the door, slams the door in anger. Thank you very much, Denight. Huge ass for $4.99 says, I carry a crack pipe, pocket sand, and a can opener. Get on my level.
Dale Gribble at my heart.
Bro, yeah, those 3 items can indeed be used together. Thank you very much, Mr.
you can
Huge Ass.
Just use dynamite and a roll of toilet paper. You can get something that can help you out of jail.
Okay, Dale.
Oh, no. Minnesota Crawlers comp and scale for $2. That sounds like their business title. Spirited a 3-dimensional Glock Super 17 super poor. What? Spirited a 3-dimensional Glock 17 super.
I think it means
Maybe like
3D
3D
printed.
printed?
Yeah.
Oh, he means like squirted a 3-dimensional
Yeah.
Glock 17. Okay, yeah. No, understand.
Mobile super chats, like when you're trying to do it on your phone, it fucking sucks. Like it autocorrects and predicts for you no matter what phone you're using. So like if you're gonna super chat on phone, just kind of take it slow, and then it's just gonna make a sentence up for you. So that's why I think like half these super chats are super fucked up. Is because they're doing it on their phone.
Oh,
No, they're just drunk.
I'm very sorry, gentlemen. Or we could just say that they're the 40% of people that can't read. Pat at Safely Strapped for another $4.99 says, better to have an extra mag and not need it than not have one and need it. Oh, dude, that's another saying that I should have written.
yeah.
That is true, but I should have written this one down. 2 is 1 and 1 is
Yeah,
not.
I was just gonna say that one. Yeah,
Yeah, bro, that's a good one because
It's kind of true though, to be
it
honest.
is. I would
Like
agree.
that is a.
that's
pretty
why I
good
carry
saying.
2 plate carriers on myself at all times.
Yeah.
How many
There's
times
all
have you guys
carriers.
actually carried two
Yeah.
guns
It's all
with you,
good. You
though?
shove extra plates into the carrier for
Let's
extra
all talk
armor.
at once. No, it's
Like,
cool.
I love that animation where it's just like you open it front end and you just shove 3 plate carriers. I'm like, huh? Okay. Whatever.
I mean, technically, more will provide more protection, right?
bro,
I mean,
that shit's heavy as
technically.
fuck already, dude. There were 2 more on top of that. Hell no.
No, you got to do your sliding dolphin dive through the window with all that on, bro. Not to mention
Bro,
that thing's going to
stronger.
be like 3 inches thick by the time it's done. New Actual for $1.99 says always extra mag work in Memphis. Yeah, certain places it would be more required than others, but yeah.
Dude,
I think you
Memphis
do
is a
Maxwell.
fucking war zone. If you're in Memphis, RIP, bro. Hope you got a will.
Takamo 21 for 5 says, aren't the stats for shooting kind of dumb since there isn't a true database for shooting even for cops, let alone citizens? Yeah, it's so varied that it's like taking the average number of shots for a SWAT encounter where it might be like 40. Like if you saw the recent video of them going through a door and just straight up murdering somebody, it's like that is not going to be translating towards your random one-on-one encounter on the street. It's just not the same thing. So it's very hard to get actual data on this stuff.
If I may, I have something kind of relevant. The American Sniper Association, which is sort of the body of SWAT snipers and shit in the U.S., every year they publish a report that goes into detail and gives like yearly stats for engagement ranges, what was used, etc. It's not the same, but it's something.
Yeah.
And I
I mean,
say
that's where we get all these random numbers: 3 yards, 3 rounds, 3 seconds, 7 yards, whatever it might be.
Well, the one shooting I did witness was across the street from me, and the dude was about 3 yards away, fired off 3 shots from his Glock and ran off. So he did meet all of the,
Another statistic.
Yeah.
Sad to
As
see.
the prophecy foretold.
Hawkeye.
Dude, he missed.
Hawkeye.
Dude, it was he shot into a group of like 12 fucking people. He missed all of them.
You ever seen a July 4th firefight in Philadelphia?
Yes. No, I'm gonna pull it up. That was the one I was referencing earlier, where it was like hundreds of rounds shot, not a single thing hit.
What?
At Safely Strapped says, I live in St. Louis. You must carry 60 plus rounds to compare to your surroundings. Many such cases, unfortunately, Pat. Central Sands Defense says agency quals tomorrow. Any guesses on how many reshoots will happen? Well, depending on how big your department is, like at least 5. But I know that you're not going to be one of them because you're going to pass those with flying colors, good sir.
You're a focus trip viewer. You will pass your first try.
Well, yeah, he's always talking in here. And I'm going to get when we talk about terrible police builds and evidence builds, he's going to come on because he has lots of experience with that.
Ooh.
Huge ass for 199 says Make-A-Wish Gandalf looking dude. I hate newspeak. Every year it seems like there's 4 or 5 new words added to the vernacular, like bish.
I can't keep up with it, dude.
Finna.
Goon.
Well,
Goon.
you got to think this is where the
well,
literacy, mistranslation is going. Like they don't know how to read, but they know how to make up shit right on the fly.
Yeah, literally.
It's these fucking nightmare bricks. That's what these are. These fucking nightmare bricks.
That's good.
TikTok brains, man.
Yeah, thank you for the 199 huge ass. ABC Lifestyle for $2 says the chudlore on this panel is top notch. Yeah, much chudlore was spilled tonight.
Nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happens.
Thirsty Tree for 2 says, I know a guy who carries a 5.7. Not a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea.
5.7's fine. It's a lot of ammo in a relatively compact gun. I mean, is it as effective as other loads? I mean, I guess it depends on exactly what you're shooting and what you're shooting it out of. I wouldn't carry a PSA 5.7 as that doesn't seem like a good idea. But
I was thinking about
would you rather the PSA 5.7 or the Keltec 5.7?
Caltech.
No, PSA, because if I have a jam with the Keltec 5.7, the top feeding one, bro, how am I supposed to clear the jam?
Beat them to death with it.
Have fun.
Yeah.
It's plastic, bro. It's like a wiffle bat. They're gonna laugh at you. It's like, what are you
Figure it
hitting
out.
me with?
I believe in you.
Throw your coffee at them.
I don't
Yeah,
like
you know,
economics.
It's so light that you carry a second one, right?
Yeah.
That's your second magazine, is you carry 2 of them.
Mm.
You actually have a T-Rex arm holster where it's 2 of them, so it's holster and holster, right? So you got 2 of them you can draw. I think that's the method.
Dual wield. Got to dual wield.
I know somebody that
dual
does
wield
that
fucking
with Keltecs. They do it with PMR 30s.
Mm-hmm. And they
That's
need to have full power unrestricted lasers on them so that you can actually effectively dual wield. That's the meta.
Just bolt free Somo gears to it.
Free Somo gears. Chuck McGill 69 for 499 says an 18-inch 590 is great, but an M16A1 is too long? ? Don't ever look up overall lengths of each. Also, if you are running an 18-inch shotgun or whatever it might be, I mean, you can run a full length rifle if you wanted to. I don't know why you would run either. I mean, I like suppressed shorties for home defense personally. Takamo 2 says, I stand shotguns, handheld Claymore for the win. Effective. New Baxel for 499 says, hot take, Critter Gat over Bag Gat. Oh, okay, Critter Gat over Bag Gat. 44 mag break action pilled. Okay. Yeah. All right. I see it. 6 hour 499 says Hawkeye's hat, a great way to tell your family you're gay and an incel without ever having to use words. Yes, very efficient. An efficient signal.
Let me put my armor on to protect my virginity.
It's pussy repellent, bro. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's real pussy repellent. Take that fucking shit off.
He's got the Squidward helmet, bro.
Can you put the other one on over top of that?
Yes, I can.
Bro, it can't get worse. G17 Enjoyer for 2 says 1022 with a BTM folding stock. What is a BTM?
I think it means BCM. I'm not
big titty mama.
Real. I'm saving this for the hat stream.
All right. Marty says, dude, that guy looks so fat.
That's so mean.
That's actually perfect. Yeah, it's skull mask, but just obese, just hugely obese. That checks out. The AR-15 Glock grip is the M16A2 grip, 22 degrees. Okay.
I think it's almost too small, dude. Maybe.
Yeah, that
porch. His retention system looks too small for his head because his head actually looks pretty tall.
Absolute Moonman for 5 says having a mild stroke at Plump Remu, talking about having a 10mm PCC in chat. Mr. Remu was going off about certain things. At that point, just buy an AR, bro. You're dealing like a blowback 10mm has way more recoil than a 5.56. Just get a 5.56.
I've never seen those. Don't exist, man. 10mm PCCs.
I've never seen.
No. You're wrong. High Point makes one.
It's true. They do.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Absolute Moonman for 5 says, sugar my head, gay pizza posting, cheese pizza or pepperoni unless you're a weird woman. Probably uses the metric system. Bro, what are you, 12? Are you still going to Chuck E. Cheese, bro?
Who eats cheese pizza?
Dude, okay, as a kid, I have to admit, I did used to only eat cheese pizza till I was like 12 years old. That was all I wanted was cheese pizza. I don't know why that is, but now it's like, just about anything. But when I was
grew up with this kid who said pepperoni on pizza gave him a headache. And I thought that was the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, kids say
Tolerate
weird things
people.
about food. Like, so my son, he's 4. He will eat chicken one day, fantastic, perfect. The next day, gross, disgusting, can't eat it, like throws up if he touches it. It's like, I don't get it, bro. But kids tell themselves all sorts of funny things. Faceless Entity for $2 says, nobody goes to Chicago for tavern pizza. True. Mitchell Black from 499 says, can't beat Wisconsin tavern-style pizza with mushroom, onion, and deer sausage. I have had deer before, but never deer sausage.
It's solid.
That might be
It's
really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mitchell Black. Moonman for 5 says, can I pay to make Lamoco's Strongest Soldiers chat messages super chats? No. But thank you for the vibe. I don't know how to do that.
Makes you wonder what Amoka was saying.
Yeah, I apparently I was. Oh, here he is. He's still in chat. He's dry fire maxing, as they say.
Bazinga.
Dry fire maxing. That's Lamoco's Strongest Soldier. Hey, I'm glad you're having a good night, sir. Dry fire maxing, as you should be. This should be
over.
This should be 3 hours. This should be 3 hours of dry fire material, or like I don't know what else you would do with this for 3 hours, but.
Dry firing at Hawkeye's face. Just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Why am I getting
Joke,
good
joke.
tonight? Jesus.
Pick whichever guy is pissing you off in that moment, and then just that guy.
I should just
And then
change my
randomly
profile
we'll
picture to
move them around so that they're a moving target for you. You know.
Yeah, I was.
Why
just
am I the
getting
only
ready
one
to say,
moving? You bastard.
I mean, technically, they're multiple people are moving, but it's just funny.
Let me change my profile picture to a target and swap around with Hawkeye.
Oh, that actually, dude.
I'll be the
people
no
get
shoot.
So upset. The no shoot. Huge ass for 199 says Casey's Taco Pizza or get your out. No, you can order Casey's Pizza and they'll do whatever you want. And their chicken bacon ranch is also pretty good. If you can't tell, I like chicken bacon ranch.
Is that a Midwest thing?
No, you can get it just about anywhere. I just think it's good. I don't know.
I think it might be a Midwest
the
thing.
first time like 2 weeks ago. It was amazing.
Everybody
Absolute
here.
Moonman for 5 says anyone who has an NRA membership is over the age of 45, and I don't care about anything they say or think.
That's so
Well,
real.
I mean, yeah, a couple people.
I want to see the dog.
One.
Oh my gosh, show the dog, James. Show the dog.
Doggy.
Oh my god.
Look at it.
Look
Aw.
at it.
There you go. That's so
Oh my
cutie.
god.
Dog stream.
What the dog doing?
Thank you, Moonman, for the 5. Mala's Demeanor for $4.99 says bacon pineapple, sir. I don't know you, and now I don't want to kick this man immediately. That's a great anime profile pic of that guy from Sicario, though. Thank you, Mala's Demeanor. Mitchell Black for $1.99 says shut up, Trench. I think this was when we were talking about military experience doesn't get you much in terms of relevancy to the average civilian. Mala's Demeanor for another $5 says, I was in the army. Let me show you how to shoot. A wild Trench appears. Bro, he was a drill sergeant and a drill sergeant trainer. So he's going to train you how to drill.
The drill sergeant to the drill sergeant.
I was late for that. You know what I really hated when we were talking, when y'all were talking about T-Rex arms a while back? That dude referred to himself as the colonel. He hasn't been in the military in like 20 years or some shit like that. And
it's been a while.
He still refers to his rank.
I assume he was a full bird, right? Is he a full bird colonel?
Fuck if I know.
Like a Kentucky colonel, like Colonel Sanders.
I feel like full bird colonels are a different breed.
Ben Stager says it best, man. Sleepy Colonel over there.
Yeah. What's the matter? So smooth skin, never seen a ghoul before.
What's the matter, smooth skin?
Yeah. Faceless Entity for 5 says the proper way to respond when someone says I was in the military is to immediately say congratulations and not let them say anything else. So yeah, I think Arrow would just call them gay. He's like, listen, as a former vet, you're gay.
Shut up, bag. There you go.
Chuck McGill for 199 says I fought a dude in a mud hut armed with SMLE. Yeah. It's like, listen, you don't get it. I have experience. I killed dirt floor people and halfway around the country. G17 Enjoyer for 5 says, let's have Matt Pranka on. Dude, I'm gonna have him on again. It's gonna happen.
You
I should
gotta
actually ask him. We're gonna have him back. Be good. Thank you, G17 Enjoyer. I gotta work on that.
I want to see Matt Pranka with Randy. I bet that would go really well.
Please.
Dude, yeah, I could assemble a terrible panel, like the worst panel match. It's gonna be Trench Grenade. It's gonna be Randy. It's gonna be Spaz and Matt Pranka.
Nightmare blunt rotation. That has.
What
to be
about
his
Drunk
team
Hop?
name.
I want Drunk Hop on.
No,
we need Hop back.
I'm trying to think who else would be bad. Who else? Hop Facts might be fun because it's a good dynamic between the two. Brass is trying to be reasonable, and Hop is like blood. There's got to be somebody else to throw in there. Yeah, Grantham, dude, that would be so funny.
You know what?
Just being like, shut up. Okay.
John Focus, it's time for you to reconciliate with Brandon Herrera, your greatest gun tape friend ever.
It's time. It's time to heal the schism in the gun community. Absolute Moonman for 10 says, infantry Zog here. Even other infantry Zagas, Zaga, I don't know if I can say the hard R, but Zagas didn't know or care about the straps. We were only united in our artistic desire to get a CIB at some villager's expense. Pogs are even worse. Yeah, bro.
Badass
white that is funny. Thank you, Moon Man. Yeah, our desire to get a CIB at some villager's expense, that goes hard. Yeah. Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, Arby's cashier. I operated multi-million-dollar equipment in the army. Me, that's great. Now, how about operating my curly fries into the bag? Thank you, Mitchell Black.
It's always the dudes with the "I got your 6" tattoos right on the forearm.
Oh, every time.
Bro.
Absolute Moonman for 5 says, I can be trusted with a 240 in Tel Aviv. Put me in, coach. I'm sure nothing bad will come of that, good sir.
God,
thank you for the 5. Good day, Asphalt. Stealth 5 says, cheap carry handle bills are better than cheap flat tops. And I have seen so many abominations of carry handle builds where it's like it's the bolt-on carry handle, but it has an RMR mount built into the carry handle instead of iron sights. So it's now no longer even iron sights. It's just an RMR mount in the back, but it looks like a carry handle.
What?
A strange world. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, I will find it. It was on the Discord. I just have to.
Yeah, that was posted by.
It was posted by. It was posted by Nimda. Okay.
Yeah,
It looks
which
like
we
an
aren't
RA.
supposed to
Bro, I searched Nimda on the Discord. The first thing that pops up is Randy saying, I vote Nimda off the island. That's the first thing that pops up.
I mean,
That's rough.
can we do that?
I mean, we can. It would be funny.
Banned by peer review.
Fucking Nendo.
By
That dude
peer review.
that dude is something else.
Where is it?
The only acceptable use of a carry handle on a AR is to do the LaRue accurizer, because that's really funny.
No, put a C note on it.
Yeah.
Like an old school aim point.
Put one of those like fucking 18-inch long noodles on a 16-inch AR.
Can we send them to like Liberia or something? Isn't that place like meant for
Send up to
Nimda's
Haiti.
gonna be Nimda's gonna be the sole soldier to fight the Houthis.
He's gonna win. I believe in him.
You just have to weld him into a Corolla.
Oh,
drive him towards the enemies.
Jump. Do it.
Hey
You can do
Bucky. What is Bucky short for? Racket is asking in chat.
Oh, like Bucky's, like the Texas chain. Probably Buckstein.
Buckstein.
Buckstein. I like
Either
that.
Buckstein or Buckbird.
Bussies?
One of those.
Oh, you should name your name Bussies. That'd be funny.
Tacoma.
Right.
Good Lord.
Feast your
Tacoma,
eyes.
Tacoma wants a link to the
What
Discord.
the fuck?
That's so much worse than I thought.
When you
it
said
was.
on top, I thought you meant like on top, like the
Yeah.
old school,
No,
like
they
scopes.
they removed the iron sights to put a half obstructed RMR on it.
Yeah.
This is based.
Well, that's fucking horrible.
This is awesome. For
This
just
is why
how
God doesn't talk
stupid
to
it
us
is.
anymore.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
this is like-
my response to Nimda cannot be repeated on stream.
This is what free will has led to.
This
No
is
kidding.
this is the culmination of 60 plus years of AR supremacy has led to this point. I just want y'all to know that. We are here at Top Engineering. This is Knight's Armament wish they could make something that cool.
Yeah.
Technically, I can't show that on stream, but that was my reaction.
Alex Jones.
Thank you, Stealth, for the $5 for leading us down that rabbit hole. Moonman for 5 says Julius Caesar and Obama were both left-handed. Yeah, I know they are both dead. Who cares?
Did Big Mike kill Obama? Is that new lore?
Thank you, Moonman, for the interesting fact of the day. Huge Ass for 189 says Eugene Stoner supremacy. Get Mr. Kalashnikov. Yeah, not a lot of countries switching to the AK. Hawkeye, what do you think about that?
I think you're all wrong, and you're entitled to be as wrong as you are.
I never saw Stoner visit Russia.
I mean, to be fair, like India replaced the NSAS with the AK-203.
Yeah. The newer series of AKs are still good, if not as good.
Opinion rejected.
Yeah, using India as a talking point is.
Yeah, they stink.
How many child soldiers use the M4? Oh, none. Get fucked.
Base.
In Pakistan.
Yeah, we outlawed child labor. Mitchell Black for 189 says L85A2 is the best assault rifle in Battlefield 3.
Yeah, because it doesn't jam like it does in real life.
Imagine they add a jam mechanic to these games. It's like, everybody just uses M4s. Mitchell Black 499 says Lost Arrow. Why are you cussing on my Christian panel? It's true.
It's okay. I talked to God. He said he was cool with this time. Next time he's not going to be cool with it.
Profanity in these streams?
I don't police what people say. I've had people say the N-word live while we're streaming.
I mean, yeah,
wasn't that Overton? Wasn't that Overton?
It was Overton, yeah.
Yeah.
I do request that you don't get the channel taken down. That's what I do.
Understood.
But
yeah,
Lucas
Mitchell,
can.
For the price of $400.
Well, Lucas did. Yes, Lucas did get it taken down. Mitchell Black for 499 says the only time your right to bear arms should be restricted is if you're in prison or unalived. What about in a mental institution? What if we bring those back?
What if you're French?
I'll say it. Ronald Reagan, worst president we've ever had. He got rid of the mental institutions. Should have brought him back, man. We didn't have so many.
What about Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln.
What
Do you
about
think
it?
we would have repealed slavery if he wasn't president? I think we still would have.
He settled riots in New York by killing rioters or protesters. I mean, he was friends with the railroad corporations. You could argue he instigated the war in the first place. I mean, there's different little arguments you could say against Mr. Lincoln.
He had a cool hat and a cool beard.
Did have a cool hat.
He was tall.
Some people might label him America's first tyrant. I mean,
Yeah, much better than Hawkeye's hat.
He fought. I want you guys to know he fought vampires too. Okay, so
I saw that movie, bro. I saw that movie and I was like, "What am I watching? This is
it's so great.
It's a great movie if you're drunk."
Yeah, just crack a pack of Twisted Teas and you're fucking good to go, man. That movie's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a Saturday night right there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Huge Ass 189 says 2A for all the voices in my head.
Somebody please
telling me to grab
this man a gun, dude. That's good.
No, just take them from the officers, from the police officers' service holster. They're free for taxpayers.
They're free, yeah, that's true. They don't want you to know this, but they're free. You can take as many as you want.
I imagine
use one of those grabby things.
Yeah, okay, somebody did try that. I don't know if that was a meme or not, but somebody did try that with a grabby thing to go.
He got arrested.
Officers got yes, of course he did.
Like for real? Like it wasn't a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
This is a real life attempt. Tried to live out the meme, did not work out the way he wanted it to.
Absolute use of free will is a beautiful thing. I love it.
McLeod 2486 on the Rumble side of things says, just give your friend a sub 2000, the king of home defense guns. True. And do we have any sub 2K enjoyers on the panel with us?
I like
No.
Gosh, dang it, James.
I mean, I own one. I like never shoot it, but it's a fun little gun.
If you can get it for sub $400, it's not a bad gun to grab from what I've been able to shoot. Yeah, like there's still like 600, I want to say. Like they're not expensive.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think mine was-
McLeod again for 5 says, whenever our best and brightest left for World War II, Athens, Georgia happened. Right, that was the takeover of that town, wasn't it? Where like the police
Battle of
officers
Athens,
or somebody,
Tennessee,
yeah, they
1939.
went all wacko and tried to lock down the place, and then they had to basically fight a battle to get it back.
Yeah.
Wild situation. You know what that reminds me of? That's like the end of Return of the King, where they go back to the Shire and they have to like clean out the Shire. It's like you think it's over, but nope.
Nope. Boo, fat electrician. Up, Count Dankula.
Real. Bushmaster for 2 says, can't wait for the Glock AR to come out with an optics mounting point milled directly into the upper receiver so that it only works with some weird expensive aim point. Bro, if they do a AR version of their KOA where the optic is built into the gun itself, that would be funny. And yeah, it would be like $3,000. All right. Stealth for 5 says, without the military, our country will collapse. Looks at national debt and mass government spending. Again, it's like there was a real need for having what's our military budget? Is it $1 trillion?
It's over $1 trillion now. It is over $1 trillion.
$1 trillion now,
because the big beautiful bill, I think, takes away $250 billion from other, or I might be misconflating numbers, but a sizable chunk gets taken away from other government sectors and goes into like ICE, which is fair, and then government contracts and DoD spending, which is all just government contracting in general.
Yeah. So I mean, $1 trillion for the. I mean, are we triple the next closest? Quadruple the next closest in terms of military?
Dude, we're like the next 8 countries combined don't even fucking shine on our defense budget. It's
we
crazy.
are beyond peer and beyond
Yeah.
reproach. That said, is it true that with the BBB, ICE has a bigger budget than the Marine Corps now?
I mean, the Marine Corps doesn't have a budget in general. It doesn't fucking exist. It's like it's a $2 and a fuck you. That's what it is. You know how many times I ran out of Humvee fuel because like I wasn't allowed to go purchase Humvee fuel, even though we have it and it's already allocated. Like, no, we can't afford it for the fucking the units funds this quarter. And I'm just like, dude, what? Yeah, the fucking Marine Corps doesn't have a budget. So when people say that, it's like they have to ask the Navy for the budget. The ICE needs a massive budget, though. Get them fucking illegals out of here, dude.
Think how many dollars it takes to expat one illegal immigrant times that by 20 million, right? Or whatever the number is.
Get a train in the middle. It goes to both sides of the edge of the water. Just shoot that train over. Just fucking go. Just slingshot that bitch. Get him out of here.
Solo Gordo for 499 says, people refer to magazines as clips, do not need the Second Amendment. Also, people that can't drive.
So women?
Bruh, I didn't say that. That's funny. Well, actually, Bucky, how do you feel about that statement?
Yeah.
Man, isn't this like the previous statement about people being like too mentally incompetent to own a gun?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, people that can't drive, and
because he's Asian.
But you're one of the 3 O's. You're Oriental.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Mitchell Black, also speaking of Bucky, says Bucky is 100% a former ROTC kid.
I wish I'd gone to ROTC, but I enlisted before I could even get into college. So, yeah.
Loser.
I can do you one nerdier. I was in the Civil Air Patrol.
I was in the CAP.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Dr. Fuzzy One for 499 says, I just read the Starship Troopers novel, highly recommended. People should need to earn their say in the country's future.
Would you?
Yeah, no, I think that was the original intent.
Was
you have to do something.
By a communist,
because,
or just the movie?
No. So the movie is like a spoof of like a fascist future thing. And then the movie is a spoof of the book. So they counteract each other in funny ways.
Yeah.
And so like it's not a critique of the book, but it's different enough that they're totally separate entities.
They really are better consumed as separate pieces of media.
The book,
like
the book,
they're good for different reasons.
I mean,
like the book has like the drop troopers, the space soldiers, and stuff like that, and the movie just loosely takes those themes and makes it into like a parody.
Well, yeah. So you know how like these people sometimes they unironically make something really based. It's like that's kind of what they end up with. is like, well, even when in like modern writing, like the bad guy character is sometimes the most like
the badass one, the one that makes the most sense.
Well,
right,
that's
and
the
it's
deal with
they're not
Rorschach
dorks.
in that
Oh, yeah.
superhero flick.
yeah. Well,
Watchmen.
Alan Moore hates superheroes, right? And then he can't figure out why people identify with this character that exacts justice in this evil world. And he's
Yeah.
like, why do people identify with this character named Rorschach? That the very nature of the character is that people view him differently and his actions differently, which I think is also funny.
That's it. You convinced me. I'll watch Watchmen again tonight. Fuck it.
Watchmen is
Bro, Watchmen's good.
It's
Okay.
so good.
Okay, story about Watchmen. Sorry to break that into that, but I watched the Ultimate Edition first, where it has the. Have you guys seen the Ultimate Edition where it has
With
the
the
cartoons?
I haven't seen that now.
So I watched that first, and like when the first cartoon started playing, I was like, what is happening? And then there's a 10-minute break, and then it goes back to the movie, and it does that I think 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, and I was like they were cool, and like I kind of liked it, but it's a totally separate story from what's going on in the movie. So, I recommend the Ultimate Edition without the cartoon, and then watch the cartoon separately. So it's a strange experience.
Because Starship Troopers just is the first in the concept of like the drop soldier. So like Hell Divers, ODSTs,
yeah.
Starship Trooper movie, a bunch of other stuff.
That's where the defense budget needs to go to, is being able to drop military personnel from like 30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, can we get Operation Bluebeam so we're fighting fake space aliens so that we can have cool tech or something like that? Would
The
be
fake space aliens are in a magical place called Israel, and they're fighting for a magical little strip called Gaza. So what we'll do is we'll drop from above and we'll land in this hot zone called the Middle East.
I think Singularity Exists Arrow is called Halo jumping, high altitude, low opening.
Why
The
not
grunts
just
are called the IDF.
why not just
Bro,
dump a lot of money into
The elite are
like
Hamas.
the super weapon in Call of Duty Ghosts, the kinetic dropper system.
Oh yeah, where they have the tungsten rods that they drop from orbit.
I mean, exploding Los Angeles looks pretty base, though.
Right, retroactively, not such a bad move, huh?
The prophet of regret is Mr. Netanyahu. Remember that.
Oh my fucking god!
And what is God?
We're gonna take.
Who's the arbiter in this case?
Oh, it's got to be one of those hot Ukrainian or those hot fucking IDF chicks that aren't real.
I think the arbiter in this case would be either Zelensky or that one SEAL who iced Bin Laden.
Nope. The arbiter's Ben Shapiro. I'm calling it now.
No, Abby Shapiro. Come on.
Actually, your voice will be silenced.
The Master Chief is Baron Trump.
G17 Enjoyer for 2 says we need National Socialism. You had me in this first half. Thank you, G17 Enjoyer. I appreciate that. That's what happens when you don't read the super chats before you just start spouting things out. Absolute Moonman for 10 says married with kids that biologically came from you, civic service or military service, be able to trace your lineage back to the War of Northern Aggression, pass a literary test, and pay taxes to vote. I think, like 2 or 3 of those things at least.
Yeah, like a combination, like check X amount of boxes and you can vote.
Mm-hmm. Well, like 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or something like that.
A nice little 3/5 compromise.
Forget literacy. I mean, literacy is important, but just like a civic literacy test is legitimately a good idea. You should know how our government runs to some degree before voting.
No, I should be able to vote with no understanding of what happens when I vote.
Yeah.
Okay, in high school, did any of you guys also take the citizenship test during your civics course?
No.
What?
Oh, bro, I was homeschooled.
You can like try out the
fucking nerd.
Our fucking final in senior year of high school was no shit the written citizenship test.
What?
And the amount of people who couldn't even get 60 questions right is concerning.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, that's a good comment. Somebody just wrote the Ace of Spades is Netanyahu.
Oh.
Yeah, the deck of
funny.
cards.
Yeah.
Pat, safely strapped for $2, says, I just go to college, put it on resume, and drop out.
Based.
Have fun wasting your money on
dude, you can put. Here's the fun thing that companies don't want you to know is you can put whatever you want on your resume. And They're not going to call. They're not going to
just
check.
make it up and say you
lie.
signed an NDA. That's it. Just make it up. Say you signed an NDA and you're not allowed to talk about it.
Yep.
There you go. Problem
Bro,
solved.
how am I gonna? If I ever have to get a real job again, how am I going to explain this gap in my resume?
NDA.
Explain this.
Absolute Moonman for 5 says, "Oh, you have a college degree? Will that stop me helping you kiss a moving bus?"
That's good.
No, but it looks better in my obituary, I guess. Thank you for the 5, Moonman. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Moonman is getting spicy. He says, "Read my 20 super chance, dancing monkey." You're not exactly wrong. Damn. Range Day, bro. Hey, how's it going? Good sir. So I watched your stream earlier with Bones. I very much enjoyed that as I was driving back and forth from Sioux Falls. If you don't spend the taxpayer dollars and study abroad and party in Prague, then you stay losing in your college experience.
Dude, that's so true.
On the GI.
Like,
if they just let me cash out,
there's government funded study abroad sessions.
Yep.
So you go to college, and then when you hit your second year for sophomore year, they're like, "Hey, study abroad." And there's these list of countries, and for some reason, retards like to choose the shithole countries, like Israel or fucking China. Like, why the fuck would you go there, bro? Go to some cool country.
Yeah.
Hell, I would go to Tokyo if my college offered it, but nah.
Yeah. We could have gone to Scotland.
I think Syria would be a nice place.
Scotland would be cool. Syria would be a good time.
I've been there before. It's my homeland. I love it. Love it there.
Syria?
Oh.
No, Scotland.
Oh.
Bruh. Silla Gorda for 499 says physical attractiveness is also a factor for interviews. Well, that's not the way I got mine. Then it's personality after. You don't need the degrees. In my field, certifications are better. Well, listen, if you want to make money, people were talking about it in the chat, but I mean, like plumbers, electricians, HVAC, these guys make money. Like they make
YouTube editors.
A lot of them just blow it on.
And you
really
still need men to
expensive
maintain
stuff.
all of our infrastructure in our country in general. Like you need
Correct,
the lights to
100%.
go on. You need roads. Yeah.
Like if you do trades and just
what do you
throw your
guys
money
think
away or
about
invest it
liberal
well, you'll
arts
be set.
degrees?
What'd you say,
I
James?
try not to.
Liberal arts or a philosophy degree. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I legitimately think that there is a place for liberal arts degrees. I mean, I think the way they're currently done and with our indoctrination system is pretty bad. We don't have great liberal arts.
So
what do they do?
Can I clarify? What do you mean by liberal arts degrees?
Yeah,
So,
like what do they do?
Essentially, there was a time when you went to college to learn. Well, for a couple of reasons, right? One, it was like a finishing school. You go for the relationships. You go for just kind of to be in with a group of elite people, and then also you go to learn in an institutional fashion the customs of your culture, what makes you free. You learn the classics. You learn all these things, like genuinely valuable things that you kind of want the you do want some people in your society to know. Is that valuable? Is because I feel like these days.
So are we talking
it's
about
not
like
college.
philosophy and sociology and stuff
Yeah.
like that? Is that sure. Like I've taken sociology and philosophy classes and stuff like that. I think those elements are important. Do I think that we need a class of where like 30% of women are getting liberal arts degrees, or maybe it's even more than that, where it's just not beneficial to society at all? Like, that's even more specialized than like almost anything. So I don't know why that's
I think
the biggest
creativity
college
is undervalued. Like look at the results of what Celtic accomplished.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is that creativity or is that just cocaine? Let's be honest.
That's just drugs.
What's the
But
difference?
you got to think. Any dancing monkey or Jew can take fucking philosophy in college and pass. I mean, my professor said that my ideas were borderline illegal, but I still got a fucking A.
Right, but to be fair, that's not what I'm talking about. Passing a philosophy 101 class isn't like there isn't an actual use for people that I don't know get those sort of higher education liberal arts degrees. It should be significantly less. But I feel like
it's super specialized. But I think there is a place for high-thinking philosophers and sociologists to like try and solve problems within society. But I think that now we're at the point where it's like the inversion of that, where they create more problems than they solve, and they're being taught like the opposite of what's true in a lot of cases.
No,
So,
I just want you to wake up every single morning, right? Wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and go, "What would Diogenes do?" And then live your life based on that.
Probably touch himself in public.
Oh no.
Yeah, Diogenes
way
would do
better
just
than
about
that.
anything. So there's a fabled meeting between Alexander the Great and Diogenes, where Alexander says, "If I was not me, I would be him."
No, you killed it. No, Alexander came up and he goes, "Oh, Diogenes, you're the greatest philosopher. You know, what can I give you?" And Alexander the Great could give him anything in the world. And Diogenes goes, "Move out of my son." Alexander goes, "Oh, if I were not Alexander the Great, I wish to be Diogenes." And then he replies, "I too wish I was Diogenes." That was it.
Way to take the same story and make it longer for no more effect.
Way
I know you're technically
more.
correct. Yes, I know there's more to it. La, la, la. Yeah,
Everybody shoot
but
Hawkeye.
the
Shoot
truth-
Hawkeye.
The truth of the matter is Diogenes was a loser who should be kicked out of society.
He's
I mean, there's
literally
We
also
should
great-
rigidly
he's
enforce
the
social
epigenitor
norms.
of
You
Ryan
have other
Gosling.
great philosophers like Confucius.
Behold,
Glory to the
Plato's
Chinese
AK
Communist Party.
is the Desert Eagle.
Plato's AK.
My favorite philosopher is Sam Hyde, for sure.
Real. Rich 333 for $2 says, "What's up with the Grand Wizard on the bottom? The Grand Wizard.
Whoa. Whoa, that's
He's a talented man." Central Sands Defense for $2 says, "ASA is sniper only shoots. Others are excluded."
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
that was about my American Sniper Association.
Yeah, the stats on that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Sioux Falls, we had a sniper take out a guy who was had a hostage at a gas station downtown Sioux Falls a couple months ago.
Damn.
Yeah, and
Was that
like
the guy
I
with
said,
the
it is
Romeo
sniper
5 on a
specific,
hydromount?
but it's still useful info. You can learn.
I think you mean cyberpunk.
No, don't abbreviate
Absolute
Cyberpunk.
Moonman for $5 says, "Find Atlamoko's strongest soldiers post about the pregnant anime girl wife dream. I had to see it, and so do you." I see Amoko is still in chat, so if it wants to repost it, I can take a look at it. I don't necessarily want to, but I could. Huge ass for $199 says, "Kentucky Colonels are a real thing. Look it up."
Yes, there.
It is.
I'll take your word for it. Fantastic.
Colonel Taylor's, I think it's a bourbon. It's kind of a ridiculously overpriced, overrated bourbon. But the guy who founded it, the colonel, is not actually a colonel. He just gave himself that title. Fun fact.
Moonman for $2 says, "Nimda is the funniest guy on the Discord. No cap." Some cap
about
detected.
hammers.
I don't know.
Like funny in a haha way?
Yeah.
Funny in a this way. This is my reaction to that. Absolute Moonman for $5 says, "Hawkeye would be based for the AK love, but I saw a carbon fiber abomination in Discord." Bro, he's the carbon fiber AK man, bro. That's what he's known for. Raiders Arms. Rich 333 for $2 says, "AK enthusiasts are the furries of the gun community. No lie detected."
This has been fact checked by
Wait.
real AR patriots.
Wait, hold on. John, don't you own an AK?
No. Chuck McGill Super 499 says, "I'm gonna live out my Blood Meridian fantasy in Haiti,
Oh,
bro."
no, bro.
That's
Powerful.
dark. That's
Judge
Dances in
McGill.
light and
Oh,
in
no.
shadow.
Judge
He's always
McGill,
dancing.
Yeah.
Great
McKeon 2486 for $2 says, "ICE has a bigger budget than the Canadian military."
That's not a high bar.
Yeah, nothing was lost.
So if we put ICE up against Canada, could we win without even using our real military?
Yeah, ICE can speak Spanish easily.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I had a dream where Rimu Hakuri from Toho was my pregnant wife, and I was hunting Sasquatches for food in the same dream. Well, that's
This is
wholesome. You have a pregnant wife who happens to be an anime girl, and you were hunting for Sasquatches for food. That's not terrible. That's kind of strange for sure. I don't want to know, what you think about to result in such dreams, but I mean that's not the worst thing I could have read today.
Hakure Reimu is my favorite.
Show me the cat.
Nope. All right. Well, that was a wonderful 3.5 hours, but we kind of do need to get out of here. Kolya, what do you got coming up that you want to shout out?
So nothing much coming up other than my silly little farm that I'm planting cacti on. However, may I shout out someone in the chat itself?
Depends.
There was an individual who just said like "widowy" every time I spoke. And I love them.
Yes.
That's the one.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Unbidden
That is
Blitz.
funny.
I love you, buddy.
Unbidden
You made me
Blitz.
feel seen.
Oh,
That's so funny.
That's good. That is good. Yep, fantastic. Thank you, Unbidden Blitz. I did see that every time you talked as well. That was very funny. Richard, what do you got, Mr. Gulag Bear?
Well, hopefully I'll be putting out some more clips over this week. I've got a lot to catch up on since I missed the weekend, but for those who are not aware, I run the second channel for John. It's called Out of Focus Clips. If you look it up on YouTube, it's at Focus Clips 2 with 2 P's. Go over there, subscribe, watch the clips. I just take the segments from the stream and clip them down into shorter, more manageable bite-sized pieces that are easier to watch, easier to share, and easier to have conversations on direct topics in the comments. So go do that. It'd be great. I love you.
Peace.
Jake, what do you got coming up, homie?
Hitting the mute button. That's what he's got coming up.
Yeah, he's gonna be here for a while.
That's fine. Hawkeye, what do you got going on, good sir?
Working on new carbon fiber gas tubes for the Yugo, and also doing a VSS body kit for the 1022. So you can follow me over on.
If you do make that, that'll sell like hotcakes.
I think it'll be cool.
Well, initially I just did it for me because I'm like VSS 1, and I'm like, fuck it, I drew it up in CAD, I have some files, and then I shared it on Instagram, and more people are interested in that than the carbon fiber stuff. So I'm like, fuck, now I have to make this. So I'm gonna have a prototype done this week. You could see me on Raiders Arms on Instagram, or go to raidersarms.com to make your AK lighter.
Well,
and
now I have to show everybody because they were complaining about carbon fiber cringe. So now look at that. Carbon fiber stock, carbon fiber handguard, carbon fiber barrel, carbon fiber gas tube on your AK. There you
And
go.
I also made the hand grip too. Everybody misses that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hawkeye, send me the stuff for that you got going for the 1022. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, what, the actual files or what?
Just the files, images, screenshots, whatever you got. Just curious.
Yeah,
about that.
I posted it in the Discord. I'll send that over to you. It doesn't look horrible. It's drop-in. It's gonna be printed, like SLS printed or something, and I have plywood here. I'll cut out the buttstock, but it's just a fun thing.
Yep. Send me that.
Arrow, what do you got going on, good sir?
Nothing. Fuck you.
Based. Gadong State Broadcasting Corporation. What do you got going on, GSB?
Very much very interesting.
Oh, can he hear us?
Bucky.
What? Oh, yeah. I had like a weird audio glitch. I got cut out for 10 seconds and it somehow worked again.
He was waiting for his handler to tell him what to say.
yeah. My SRA handler. I made a new video on the Virginia Cocoas. Was a live stream subject in the past. I think you should go watch it.
Yes.
The first first militia I covered that isn't hostile, or isn't designated as hostile, just neutral.
Right, they're just weirdos. Am I still sharing that? I am still sharing that. Yeah, they're just weird and funny and dumb, and they point guns into parking lots with people in them. So, little silly. Chris, what do you got going on, good sir?
Nothing much, man. Same old, just shooting. Got a match this weekend. Congratulations on Master, by the way. That's awesome,
Thank
dude.
you. Appreciate it, good sir.
And then I'll let you hit on. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can't. You gotta sell it, man. We got something. You can't just say that there's nothing coming up.
Okay.
We got a whole channel.
So James, John, and I are planning on doing a little theology stream. I'm gonna be the one Catholic, and then you guys are gonna be the Baptists, right? Both of you guys are Baptists.
I'm forces.
He's Presbyterian, and I was raised Baptist. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Baptist, if that makes sense. The channel link is pinned in the chat. This is the YouTube channel. We currently have 50 subscribers, which you could help get that up to 100. Did we decide what day is the first stream? Was it the 23rd?
23rd, yeah, Wednesday.
So yeah, only a week from the first stream on this channel. Currently, there's no content on it, but it will be the three of us discussing more theology-focused topics. Excellent.
Be a good time.
James.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, the Redoubt channel. And then, I mean, go check out Meteorite Concepts. We just launched a few new products. Compulsive Gun Buyer, we'll put out new videos at some point. I've got a lot of footage in, but not. But.
Awesome. Excellent. And
So,
yeah,
so John, what do you have coming up?
I was just about to say that before you so rudely interrupted me, good sir. No, let me see. So last night I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning filming all of the talking sessions for the next like 4 or 5 videos that are going, because I am leaving tomorrow for Washington State. So I have compiled all of the footage. It is going on that very nice big laptop over there, and it is coming with me to Washington so I can edit it all. Now, through the process of staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning recording the voiceovers, I got progressively angrier and angrier. So the videos will get snarkier and snarkier as they go. And I have a couple more to finish out before I go. So there'll be a few of those today and tomorrow and more streams. I don't think we'll stream Wednesday because I think I'm going to be traveling all day, but I'm not sure yet. So yeah. My last name is Campbell, Jonathan Campbell, as in Clan Campbell from Scotland, in line to the throne through the Duke of Argyll.
Nice.
Fun fact. Oh, my bad. Yeah, there are also Absolute Moonman for 5 says, no, I want to hear the whole thought process that led to that dream.
You and me both, buddy.
What you guys get up to in your free time is none of my concern. Absolute Moonman for another 5 says, now going to post at Lamoco's Strongest Soldiers Dreams as super chats now. As long as they don't violate TOS. Wow. Well, I do want to say thank you to all of the panel here, good sir, for hanging out for 3.5 hours on a variety of topics, for engaging, having a good time, for the viewers, for hanging out, for supporting. And yeah, with all of that out of the way, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. Follow everybody on the stream because they gave you 3.5 hours of entertainment, and we will see you in the next one.
Don't follow me on anything. I'm scared.
Rumble.
As I sailed, and most of them I've slain as I